All right, HBCU Legends fans and Black Sports Insiders, it's Coyote Mosley here with another special guest. We like to bring you some iconic figures in sports and entertainment. And she's not only iconic, but she's a trailblazer in fashion too. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But you guys know her very well for being on the sidelines of the basketball courts, especially in the SWAC when she was at PV to UAPB. And now she's at Alabama A&M. It's none other than Coach Dawn Thornton. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you, Kyle?
Man, look, it's hot. It's the summer, but you've been making it hot for everybody. Also, hanging out at Essence Festival in my old hometown, New Orleans, Louisiana, and having a great time on those panels. That had to be a great adventure for you, right? Can you hear me?
You went out for a second.
Can you hear me, Coach?
I can hear you now.
Okay. I was saying being at Essence Fest, especially the Essence Con or BeautyCon, whatever, it was a special event for you to be a panelist.
It was really and truly an honor to be able to go to Essence this year and represent A&M as well as my brand and everything that we just been trying to kind of get started this year to kick off. I would like to think that fashion has been something that's really been near and dear to me. I think my whole entire life, I've always really just have wanted to just dress a certain type of way. So to be able to be at Essence and on the BeautyCon panel, it was surreal to me.
Yeah. Look, you did an excellent job. Everybody was talking about it. I know Dr. Kiki Barnes, she was talking about you as well. That's your girl. But the thing I liked about them selecting you, because when you see all the different styles that you're able to put on each game, it's just like, wow, how did she come up with this concept? And you have a great stylist. Talk about her.
Thank you, for noticing that. Tanya Pugh-Johnson from 16 Cross Pearson, located in Birmingham, Alabama, is my stylist. And we got together in September of last year. And I was just like, listen, girl, I don't want to have to try to figure out what I'm going to wear this year. I'm in Huntsville, Alabama. I don't really know what that looks like as far as being able to have access to different things. And I said, I really want to be able to highlight you as a stylist, but also I want to do some dope things as well. So, we sat down, we talked about things that I like, things that I don't like, people that I admire as to what they wear on the sideline. And we were just able to move a bunch of different pieces together, and she killed it. She's 100% responsible for everything that I wear on every home game that we had last year. So she styled me for 19 games last year.
Well, yeah, you both killed it. And you killed the look, and you had people talking, and I was looking, and I was like, man, that's pretty cool. Look, Coach. But the favorite one I had was when you were in the you had almost like a suit on. It was burgundy, and you had pinstripes.
Yes. So we had a designer that wanted to donate or gift me a suit to wear for the swag tournament. And what was so dope about it, because he decided to do that for me, I actually bought all of my staff custom tailored suits as well. So the gray suits that my staff had on, I purchased them for them. I purchased those for them just to be able to give some business back to keep. Yeah.
Well, look, keep on doing it now. And I know everybody's going to be looking for what you're going to do this season as well.
Yeah, that's something that I'm excited about, seeing what we're going to do this season as well. Also, it's no pressure. And the great thing about it is the brand gets bigger, the platform gets bigger, and more people want to be able to contribute and be a part of the movement. And it's a beautiful thing because a lot of people just want to, I just want to do something dope for you. You're a young Black woman representing other Black women very, very, very well. And we want to be able to support you, whatever you need. So it's been an outpour of support.
Yeah. Well, much deserved. So let's talk about you, your background. Can you hear me, Coach?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're getting some feedback there.
You can hear me? We good?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Okay.
Okay.
When I was doing some research on your background, I'm trying to understand what's in the water over there in Jackson, Mississippi, that's having all you sports legends come out of Jackson.
You know, that's a good question, but I would honestly say growing up in Jackson was something in the 90s, you know, in the early 2000s. It was different. And it was different because anywhere you go at that age, as you are young and growing up and trying to really figure out life, understanding who you are. For me, I always wanted to be able to represent my city with class. I wanted to be the one to make it out. I want to be the one that comes back and gives back to Jackson and look out for my parents, my church. You know, I was rooted in so many different things, in Girl Scouts, children's choir, seemed like everything. So just having an opportunity to understand what that looks like, and everybody doesn't appreciate or respects Mississippi like you would in Atlanta, or Houston, or Chicago. So, you know, we just built different. We come in that thing and we like, you know what? You know, yeah, we from Mississippi. That's right. And who got a problem with it?
Look, man, you guys are doing it well. And I was like, man, she's a native of Jackson. Let me ask you this. I was looking at the timeline, and maybe I'm a little off, but were you playing basketball in high school at the same time Tamika Reed was?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we played against each other when she was
You
at
did?
Callaway. Yes.
Man, that should have been some iconic clashes between the two of you ladies.
You know, Tamika and I knew of each other in high school, but the bigger picture was the rivalries from Callaway, from Murrah. So there was like big rivalries from each school. It really didn't. It really never was an individual thing because we all pretty much played on the same AAU program. So in the summer we played together, but during the year it was the beef was from school to school, Lanier, Provine, Callaway, Murrah. So that was just an underlying thing.
All right. Well, that's good, man. I'm just proud to see both of you young ladies come from Jackson, Mississippi, and be able to put your stamp on basketball, especially in the SWAC. You know, when I remember when you were up at PB, how you just had those championships and you were going to the tournament and everything. But most of all, people keep on forgetting you were beating some top schools out there as well. Talk about that and how you brought that. I know at Pine Bluff, you guys did the same thing with Zay Green. You guys were able to defeat a top school as well. Talk about how that was so motivating and inspirational for your players.
You know, I felt like my whole life I've been an underdog. I felt like I've had to prove myself. I felt like I had to go into rooms where, where I haven't always been the favorite. Honestly, if we want to be honest about it, I've always felt that way. And so I coach my players the same way. I think that was embedded in me early because I played in the HBCU. And so I remember my coach talking to us about what that looks like when we played the Notre Dame, when we played Baylor's. Back when I was at Jackson State, we played the Florida States and all of those schools. So I've always had this underdog. I got little man syndrome. I'm not trying to offend nobody. I promise.
Okay.
I got little man syndrome. So, the things that I want to be able to do with basketball is every year I want to be able to do something special, because I think that in an HBCU, it's not just about winning a championship. It is, by all means. You ask my AD, he gonna tell you you better win a championship. So I get that.
Yeah, I don't know if Doc would agree with you on that one, right?
Yeah, I get that, but there are so many other ways to celebrate young women, to celebrate your programs. There are also other things that take away alongside with a championship, because at the end of the day, you know, you got to stay healthy to win a championship. You got to keep the team together to win a championship. But there are other markers that you can, you know, other goals that you can accomplish along the way. And
Right.
we set those goals, we make them very, very clear, and we just prepare the young women to be able to obtain those goals.
Yeah. You talk about health, especially when you play a long season. Toward the end of the season, health can become an issue. And when I used to cover the National Football League, especially the New Orleans Saints, that was the beat. It came down to who was the healthiest hitting playoffs and how they were able to have those guys ready and to be able to hit the ground running in those games. And I know toward the end of this year, you guys had over 20 wins, right? And that was historic for the Bulldogs program. But you also were kind of dinged up a little bit, correct?
Yes, we definitely had a taste of the injury bug. Mo Davenport was a big piece to what we wanted to do this past season. Mo was a top player in the state of Alabama. She signed with Rutgers out of high school, and left Rutgers and transferred to UGA, and from the University of Georgia to Arkansas Pine Bluff with me here. And Mo is a 16 and under USA Olympian. She has a gold medal. She played with the USA 16 and under girls basketball team. And so Mo is definitely different. Mo Davenport, in my opinion, is definitely a WNBA draft kid. She should be on their boards right now, and she's really, really working really hard because she wants to have a professional career. I think had we had Mo, had we not had some other little injuries along the way, we probably would have done. We probably would have won maybe one or two more games. I thought that, you know, we still had a really solid year without her.
Oh, you had a tremendous year. Was it 21 wins or 22 wins?
21. Yep, 21.
21 wins.
11, yep.
Hey, that's nothing to sneeze at, right? But also, you had another big win off the basketball court. One of your babies, Zay Green, she was able to be drafted by a WNBA team. How did that make you feel to see her have that opportunity with the Mystics?
You know, a lot of people have asked me about Zay, and I think just being able to process everything now with her journey and her having an opportunity now to go over and play overseas. One thing that I love about Zay is everything that we set out for her to do, she was able to do it. She left the SEC, came to an HBCU, killed and dominated on the HBCU level, wanted to graduate from an HBCU. She did that. We thought that it was time for her to go back to the Power 4 schools, because I wanted her to make sure she had all the tools that she needed to get drafted. I thought that was very important. A lot of people wouldn't agree. A lot of people wouldn't agree to me saying that. But,
why is that? Why wouldn't they agree?
Well, you know, just because they feel like, you know, you can get seen at our schools. And she did. She made the WNBA draft boards while she was there. But just a lot of those other resources with managing money and her being able to get some money from the rev share with the new time, all of that was important for her as she prepared for what she needed outside of an opportunity. In HBCU, we gave you the opportunity. We gave you the platform. You know, we gave you the education, and she did her part. She 100% did her part, represented and did a phenomenal job while we were together, and went on to the University of Alabama and did it too. So
sure did.
Zay is amazing, and I love that girl with all my heart, and I continue to wish nothing but success for her.
Yeah, look, when she went to the Crimson Tide, she led them in scoring that season, right?
Well, she was top 3 in scoring for sure.
Yeah, look, man.
And they had 3 WNBA signings on that team last year.
Yeah, wow. Kudos to you. Kudos to Zay as well for everything that you guys were able to accomplish there. So when you started your career, it was over as an assistant coach at Tougaloo, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Talk about that journey.
You know, I was working for the Social Security Administration. I was working for the state, processing. I was a disability adjudicator. I was
Really?
processing people applying for disability. And I was on the job for 10 months. And I'm going to tell you, sitting in that cubicle, I was miserable every day. I was so miserable because I had just stopped playing basketball, maybe 2 years. And I wanted to really, I knew I wanted to coach. And everybody knows that when you get into coaching, you probably have to start from being a GA or you got to find your way in.
Right.
I couldn't find my way in. I was coaching AAU and a middle school AAU team, which was like the 6th and 7th grade, and working as in the Social Security office. And I got a call. Well, let me back. I stopped coaching AAU when I started working for the Social Security office. And I got a call from one of my players' dads. He was the AD at Tougaloo. And he was like, look, we got an assistant position open. You know, it paying a lot of money, but if you want it, it's yours. I was making at the time $45,000 a year. I went from making 45 that just bought me a brand new Nissan Altima from Deuce McAllister Nissan.
From Deuce? All right.
From Deuce McAllister Nissan. I bought me a brand new Nissan Maxima. I bought a Maxima. And I ran my car note and everything. And I said, listen, and they called me from Tougaloo. They was like, we're going to offer you $28,000.
Oh.
And I said to myself, this is the time that I have to do something for me. Right. And if I got to go get a part-time job and wait on tables at Logan's Roadhouse, I'm going to be an assistant women's basketball coach and go get me a part-time job at Logan's Roadhouse. And that was the best decision that I could have ever made in my life.
Sometimes you have to have those dreams deferred financially because you got to see the bigger picture, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, I kind of had a similar story. I'm not going to talk about it, but my mom told my mom, I said, hey, look, I'm going to leave from being a chemist to taking this job as a recruiter. She said, well, you always wanted to know what it would be like to start your own business. So now you have a chance. And didn't look back 33 years later, still doing it. So
well, congratulations to you too. Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I think that was the spirit moving, making sure you knew this was going to be a good opportunity for you in the long run. When you're uneasy about something, something saying something else is calling me somewhere, right?
I knew that God opened that door for me, and whatever it took for me to do, I was going to do it. So I wasn't going to complain about it. I was going to, whatever that job entailed, I was going to make sure that I did it to the best of my ability.
All right, and you did. Look, we can talk on and on and on about your story, especially from PV. And I know you saw the opportunity over at Pine Bluff, but it seems like everywhere you have gone, you have built a program when it was kind of, I wouldn't say in shambles, but kind of teetering, right? And now you have built in one season on the hill, you built that Bulldogs program up. What's next for you guys coming this season?
To win 22 games. 22 games in the championship. That's all we talking about. We want to win 22 or more in the championship. But I got a wonderful group of young women. They come from great families. I have a wonderful staff that I enjoy working with alongside every single day. They have definitely held it down for me while I seem like I've been on tour. But they've done a really good job of just making sure that they can continue the message being the message, you know. And so I'm thankful to have such a solid group of people around me. So just continue to do great things and do God's work is what's important to me.
A coaching staff is very important, especially a lot of times the coaching staff lays the foundation for success in a program. having the right pieces around you. Talk about some of your key coaches that assist you on a day-to-day basis.
I would think like this is close to me and a mentor to me. Coach Yo from Ole Miss is really like a sister to me. Anytime that I'm going to make
that's a good person to have, right?
anytime I'm going to make a big decision, or anytime that I'm kind of like just on the fence about some things, some ideas, I always talk to her. I always talk to her about any way of how to elevate the program and things that we could do on an HBCU level to really and truly separate us from doing some things. But also, also talking to her about some dope things with my foundation that I've just started this past season. So It's a lot of great things that's going to be happening that you all will see in the fall that we're really excited about. But just having that type of support system, I trust Yolette with my life. So, she's going to always, tell me what I think she's going to always tell me what's best and does not care about how I feel about it at all.
You got to have those people in your life, man.
Yeah, she's going to make it.
All right. Talk about your foundation. Let's hear a little bit about the foundation and what's the purpose of the foundation.
Well, we're going to do like a big launch real soon that I'm excited about.
No, you got to break it here. You got to break it here on the HBCU Legends.
I'm still waiting on my copyright stuff to all go through, because the idea really and truly is so dope. It really is. I just don't want to be in a situation where somebody like take my idea and run with it. You know how things are, but you should see some things on social media, and you can invite me back within the next 6 weeks or so, and we can definitely talk about it, because it's gonna do some great things in the community to evolve, elevate young women, young girls from the ages of 13 to 55. We're gonna coach. If I can give you anything, we're gonna coach young women, young girls to be a better version of themselves in a male dominant world. So stay tuned.
All right. Well, look, I'm like Bernie Mac. Once we invite you in, you're always family. You can't get rid of us.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. Okay. Last couple of quick questions I do have for you. The SWAC has been growing, very competitive. And this past year, we had 2 teams in the WNIT, yourself, as well as Texas Southern. Do you see more of this opportunity as far as more teams being able to challenge in those type of roles in the playoffs or beyond just the tournament?
I think in order for, I'm sorry, my allergies are killing me. I'm sorry. No problem. I'm human. I'm a human being.
That's right. You're human.
But I honestly think that in order for us to continue to get those type of invitations, we got to continue to compete. We got to win. We got to win in the preseason. We got to make noise. And we got to dominate in conference. And I think that those are the only factors that go into play when you're considering to give an HBCU an opportunity to represent on those type of stages and platforms. So you got to take care of business in the preseason in order to be able to have some type of postseason play. So I think we can continue to start, so we can continue to see it. Hopefully we can continue that momentum, because the bigger problem that, you really didn't even ask me, but the bigger problem is how are we going to keep our kids at our HBCUs? At one point, those kids weren't getting paid at P4 schools like they're getting paid now. They just wanted to come to an HBCU to play. So it was easier for us to compete against those Power 4 schools because the kids didn't want to be there. But now the kids sit there, they'll try to transfer out your team going there because they want the bag. So this thing with basketball is gonna always be a continuing. It's gonna be a transitional thing, I think, for these next 3 to 5 years for sure, until they can kind of get everything laid out.
Do you agree with Coach Deion Sanders and Coach Prime was talking about having limits for NILs?
Only reason why I'm gonna say that doesn't really even apply to us, because you got these schools that are managing $1 million budgets. And so maybe they want to have a limit. For us, we want the max of everything that you can give us. So that really doesn't apply to HBCUs, in my opinion, because we won't ever see those type of dollars.
Gotcha.
We won't see those type of dollars, and I don't think even that would even apply to, from certain Power 4 schools to the next either. I don't know.
Okay, no problem. I just wanted, guys, look at the fashion. Even in sneakers, she's looking good here, guys. Look at Coach. And this is my special one. I was like, this suit was the bomb.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I think we definitely we had an idea of what we wanted that suit to look like. My inspiration was from Kelly Roland. She had a maroon pinstripe. She had a gray pinstripe suit on with the white accents going down it, and we recreated that flawlessly.
Oh, looking good. And here, that outfit that you had on as the panelist for Essence, who was a part of that creation as well?
That's my girl India. India is in Atlanta, Georgia, and she's at. Let me tell you, because I want to get her flowers. So I definitely would love to share her Instagram with you all. I am Style Junkies Closet. Style Junkies Closet with a K. She designed that. We had an idea, a concept for that suit. India hand painted it, and she just flat out killed it. And I love it. It was so beautiful. So beautiful.
Yeah, very well done. Very well done. And this is you with the whole panel over at Essence Festival of Culture in New Orleans, Louisiana. All right. Well, Coach, let me get this out of here. So have you guys already begun your summer training?
Summer training is wrapping up. Next week will be our last week of actual training. We've been at it since May, the end.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, our kids came. We started summer school in May, so our kids have been back.
Which are the big non-conference games that you guys going to tip off with early on in the schedule?
Well, we're not. We have, we don't really talk too much about the, because we got a splash. We inviting some people to the Hill. And I know my AD is gonna be really excited about announcing what Power 4 school is coming to Huntsville again this year. However, we will be down in Tuscaloosa. We will return to the University of Alabama. We're gonna head to Reno, Nevada. Of course, we're gonna be everywhere in the state. So north, south, east, west in the state of Alabama, we're gonna be all around there. But we haven't released our schedule just yet, but it's going to be some great, highly competitive games, and I'm excited about that.
Well, I'm glad. I think you guys are going to do very, very well this year. Now, here in the SWAC West Division, there's a young lady named, let's see, her name is Vernette Ski, who has some things to say, and she made some noise this year. She really shocked some people. Talk about what you have seen of her progress.
I think anytime that a coach comes into this conference, it's very important for him or her to do an assessment of what winning looks like first. I've been in this conference as a player and as a coach, and I think that coming in, you really and truly have to look at what the winning product looks like. Because for me, I've always thought that I put a team together, and I thought that team was good enough to win a championship, without me sharing too much, because I don't want to be giving out my keys to success, right? But I think that it's important that, I'll give you an example. When Tamika Reed was at Jackson State, it was very important that we put a team together that could compete against Jackson State. So I think that Skeet has been in this in the conference long enough for her to do to get it right. You know, she's had some turnover with players, with staff, and that's a part of it, because you really and truly got to figure out who's going to buy into what you're saying, who's going to be locked into what you're trying to say, and who's going to be able to execute your vision. And sometimes you bring people in, you hire coaches, you bring kids in, you thinking it's one way, and they don't pan out to be what you want them to be. So I think that, you know, I think this is her 3rd year. She just completed her 3rd season.
Completed 3rd season, just got a contract extension.
Exactly. And I think that's well deserving of her, because she stayed to course doing what she needed to do to get some success, and she did.
All right. Excellent. Coach, one thing about being on the Hill is that it's very, very nice campus, nice environment, great culture. Why is it that you wanted this job with Alabama A&M?
Well, honestly, I'm a product of an HBCU, right? I believe in our schools. My parents went to Tennessee State. My son's father went to Alabama State. I graduated from Jackson State. And so I wasn't in a position to where I felt like I just needed to move around. Pine Bluff is an extension of Jackson, Mississippi to me. So I love Pine Bluff. I love the community, the people, the university, everybody I had to work with, everything. I love Pine Bluff. But I didn't feel like I was done with being at an HBCU. I felt like I wanted to be at an HBCU that provides resources, that has the facilities, that has the administration. And I was really, really, really attracted to my AD and my president and the way that they're forward thinking with athletics. And I knew that they were doing some things that a lot of schools weren't even privy of, you know, of even knowing what to do in a lot of those, you know, situations and stuff. So for me, I'm not done with being at an HBCU. I want to be able to, like you just said, wherever I go, I want to be remembered. I want to be a legend. I want a basketball court named after me. I want to be in the Hall of Fame. I want my son to come back to say, my mom always found a way to make something out of nothing. But now I wanted some stuff. Yeah. I wanted stuff, and we got a lot of stuff. We got facilities, we got locker rooms, we got NIL, we got cost of attendance. We have so much to offer our kids at Alabama A&M. Being that we're HBCU, I wanted to see what that looks like, so we can go and make noise and beat all the Power 4 schools and all the mid-major schools with that.
Yeah, you're on your way. You're on your way. You guys got Coach Jackson and Coach Shade and you. That's a powerful 3. Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
All right. Coach, any last words or any last thoughts?
I just appreciate everything that that you all do for our HBCU community. It's really, really key. It's really, really big, especially, you know, you don't have to get people on the outside. You're reaching right here in your backyard. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much for giving me the platform to speak and even just to be present today. So that doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you so much. And anytime y'all want me out, just let me know. I try my best to get here, but I'm gonna show up. So I appreciate you so much.
Well, I appreciate the responsiveness that you have been. You know, whenever there's a question I throw your way, you're able to respond. And you know, most coaches don't do that. I'll be honest with you. And that really helps us out to be able to give texture to some of the articles that we write over here at HBCU Legends. Okay. And look, I'm an HBCU product from Morehouse. My mom went to Dillard. My dad went to Southern University. They met on Southern's campus one summer, and the rest is history, right? My grandmother also, she was a Dillard grad. And she also taught over at Clark Atlanta. Before it was Clark Atlanta, it was just Atlanta University. So being grounded in HBCU is very important, but also understanding the culture and understanding it brings us a lot further if we're able to keep on investing into these young people who are part of the HBCU experience as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, excellent. Tell everybody how they can find you on the World Wide Web on social media.
You can find me on Instagram at Dawn Dawn, the Diva Coach, and the, and the same. I think it's the same on Twitter and on X. It's the same X. I think Dawn the Diva Coach on. I think so. Oh, what is it?
Let's see. Is it? I
So
thought it was a
is
little
it?
short on X.
It's okay. Let me see, because it's Diva Coach AAMU.
There,
It's
there
Diva Coach AAMU on X, and Dawn the Diva Coach on Instagram.
Okay, like I said earlier, Coach, you are now family. You can't get rid of us, and we are one another. I'm always going to be there to support you. Let me know how I can be able to help you, as well as the Bulldogs program advance. We are going to be supportive of everything that you guys do. Guys, don't forget, follow Coach Thornton, follow Alabama A&M, all of their sports, all of their athletics. They're doing some great things. And we just had my baby, Ty Floyd. She's now the play-by-play announcer. And I was telling her I was almost in tears when she put that out there, because she used to write for us here at HBCU Legends. Yeah, so
Yeah, Ty is awesome. She's a sweetheart.
yeah, and we're going to have her tomorrow. So
Okay,
we're going to have
yeah.
an all Alabama A&M day. The ladies, the trailblazers that are a part of the Hill, they're going to be a part of HBCU Legends for a day. All right, guys, don't forget to follow us at HBCU Legends on all social media platforms. And you can follow me at KTMOZE, Kyle T. Mosley, at HBCU Legends on Sports Illustrated. That's Coach Thornton. I'm Kyle Mosley. You guys have a great one. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
You too.
Does one negative comment make you forget 99 positive ones? Why does your mind spiral over what could go wrong instead of celebrating all that's already going right? Would you believe that you're wired that way? Don't believe me? Let me prove it to you, because you know I always got the receipts. This is Nightcap with Fawn Weaver, where I take hot topics, strip away the drama and the politics. I add truth, history, and a little bit of hope, served straight up, no chaser. There's a name for what your brain is doing. It's called negativity bias, and it's not a flaw. It's a survival feature that's now overstaying its welcome. Research published in the Review of General Psychology after reviewing decades of studies found this: negative experiences are processed more deeply and remembered more vividly than positive ones. In fact, it takes 4 to 5 positive events to psychologically counteract just one negative one. And the science goes deeper than that. Functional MRI scans show that the amygdala, the brain's fear and threat center, lights up more intensely in response to negative words or images than it does to positive or neutral ones. Even the negative events that aren't as strong create more electrical activity in the brain and demand more attention and trigger more cognitive processing. In plain terms, one person misjudging you feels bigger than 100 affirming you. One what if about tomorrow can drown out your blessings of today. That's not because the fear is truer, it's because the brain has been trained to notice it more. But here's the good news. You know I always got good news. You're not stuck in this pattern, and both faith and science agree. Neuroscience has found that the brain can be rewired through something called neuroplasticity. That means that the more you train your mind to focus on what's good, what's working, what's true, the easier it becomes. New thought patterns can physically reshape the brain over time. In other words, what you focus on strengthens. And scripture said it long before science caught up, of course. Philippians 4:8 says, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever, think about such things. And then verse 9 takes it further. Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put it into practice, and the God of peace will be with you. It's not just about right thinking, it's about right practice. And peace doesn't come from a perfect environment, it comes from alignment with truth over and over again. You are not defined by the worst moment. You are not reduced to the harshest voice. You are fully capable of choosing peace again and again until it sticks. They call me the People CEO. And I'll see you next time. Cheers. Y'all know that 1884 is delicious, right? Cheers.
All right, HBCU Legends fans and, Black sports insiders, this is as inside as we can get because she's family. And sometimes it takes a lot to get old Kyle till you worked up and choked up. But I was so very proud when the announcement came out. She kind of leaked it a couple of weeks ago. But anyway, when she came out and it was announced by Alabama A&M that she's going to be the full-time play-by-play announcer for the school, it's historic. It's historic in the SWAC, historic in HBCU legacy as well. But this is something that she has wanted for such a long time. And she put it into plan and put it into motion. And I told her, be patient years ago. And she was, and it has come true. So it's none other than Ty Floyd. How you doing, Ty?
Oh, after that introduction, I'm a little emotional. But
Yeah.
I'm doing great. We go back way, way back.
Yeah. Look, I remember when we were able to run into one another at the Battle of the Bands. I was like, oh my God, I was so happy to see you. And, just sometimes, guys, when we've been in this space and especially reporting with one another and reporting, and she's been writing on HBCU Legends, we never really ran into each other. That's the sort of funny thing. But I watched her mature. I watched her evolve, and she's been impatient at times, but it pays off if you're able to just kind of work through some of the situations in life, and life handles. God puts you in the right position at the right time, and this is it for you. You're following in some great footsteps with Tiffany Green, being out there for ESPN. But talk about your journey and talk about who Ty Floyd is.
Oh my gosh. Well, to start with who I am, that was a question that I couldn't define until a couple of years ago. I mean, I would sit here and run down my list of accomplishments and thought that defined me. But I think what defines me is just being an awesome person, being someone who will always reach back and help others. And I mean, at this point now, definitely being a trailblazer. I've never minded being the one to step out in the front and kind of take all the hits or the bumps and bruises. And I mean, luckily for me, I'm not the first one to do it necessarily, because like you said, we have Tiffany Green, but that's who I am, a really tenacious person. As my dad would say, a head buster, because I'm ready. I'm ready for life, and I'm excited about all of these things. And in terms of my journey, I grew up around the game. I love football so bad. I joke all the time that if I was a guy, I'd be in the NFL right now, probably Pro Bowlers sitting on millions. But I have such a love for the game and all that it's done, not just for me, but for my family. And so to be in this position, to be able to be in the game in this capacity is so exciting. And so I'm really, really grateful and ready.
Yeah. If you guys don't know it, her dad played for the 49ers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your dad, I got to tell you this, your dad was how would say it, the way he blocked really sent a lot of New Orleans Saints players flying every which way. And I covered the Saints, and I'm a New Orleans native, and but he was such a great fullback, and he really played the position so well. So it's kind of odd how things come kind of full circle. You get to meet his lineage, and I remember you posted an old video of you guys on the beach one day, and you kind of like knocking over your brother and running. You got some wheels on you as well, but
Yeah.
yeah, so it's just good to kind of put everything together. But Ty, to be honest with you, you've been on this journey from FAMU. You have your journalism degree, and this is not a lot of people, if they're looking outside in, they would think, oh, this is just immediate. No, this is something that you really took some time, crafted your journey, crafted where you were going to be in the different spots. And I like the fact that you took the chance going to the graduate program at A&M, and it has really opened up a lot of doors for you. Talk about that move.
I prayed and prayed and prayed to go to graduate school. Money was always an obstacle for me. Just how I was going to do it was always the obstacle. And I also, coming out of school, applied to Florida State, which is where my dad went and is a Hall of Famer at the school. Didn't get into the school.
Really? I didn't know. Wow.
I applied to the Cronkite School, didn't get in, unfortunately. GRE was a thing for me, and just taking the test. That's something I've never told anyone, but that is kind of where my journey was. I didn't get into a lot of the schools, so I was like, wow, is this even for me? Is this for me? Should I do this? And in one conversation, I was just joking, and I said, hey, Coach Mai, the quarterback's coach, he's now the DFO and senior offensive analyst. I said, Coach Mai, if you ever want to add a woman to the staff to diversify the staff, then just let me know. And he was like, okay. A week later, they're like, yeah, they said that you can come up here and do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, oh, wow. And I sat on this for months. I sat on it for months until I came home one day. Now, people who may not follow me that don't know my journey, I worked in a fitness center. So I would wake up at 3:00 in the morning to clock in at 4:30, leave that job at noon, take a break in my car, like clock out at like 12, take a break in my car, drive to the other side of town to go work in an ice cream shop, standing on the corner in an inflatable suit, and would do it all over again until maybe Thursday, when I would either be traveling or take a break to travel to cover a game or something like that. And so that was the grind for me. And I came home one day and I was just so irritated. And I was like, God, please allow me to move out and move away from here. Please allow me to be in my career every day. And literally later that night, I got a call from Coach Mai, and he was like, hey, have you thought any more about this? And I was like, oh, God already gave me the opportunity.
Yeah, that's right. And God, hey, he knocked on your door twice. He did. Fortunate. Yeah.
I'm hearing your prayer. I answered it for you. And so coming up here to Alabama A&M, a city that I'm familiar with, people that I'm familiar with, the lovely, lovely Bulldog community, I felt right at home, and they've given me the opportunity to do some great things digitally. We've killed it. And now to be making history like this, I mean, the girl who was working in the ice cream shop, calling you, freaking out, trying to figure out where my opportunity was going to come.
Yeah.
For it to have come is a blessing.
Yeah. Proud of you, man. And you persevered through it. And I know you had a lot of angst, a lot of feelings like, oh, I should be doing this. And hey, it's going to be okay. And it was funny though, Ty. You were like really kind of impatient. Then you would have a gig here, then you have a gig there, and you have another gig here and another gig there. I'm thinking, she's getting gigs. What's going on? Right? So, but it all worked out, man. It all worked out. I like the one you did with Coach Simmons when at the Celebration Bowl you did the walk. Mm-hmm. You guys walked the field and the Q&A with you guys. That was really, really a great idea, man. Yeah. And I like also how you had a chance at the HBCU All-Star game in San Antonio, where you were the play-by-play announcer for basketball. That's groundbreaking as well. So talk about how that came to be.
All of my opportunities, and I love to talk about this because I have people who will come and ask me, how did you get this opportunity? Or how did you do this? And how did you do that? And I'm like, babe, there's no secret sauce or anything. I didn't do nothing special. The only thing I did was send an email with the content and all of the stuff that I had and say, hey, this is who I am. This is what you're getting from me. And as I started to get more and more gigs, like you said, it was kind of building up as like a proven track record of what I could do, the scope of my capabilities. And so when it came to the HBCU All-Star Game, it's hilarious because I don't know if they even remember or recognize this, but back when the men's game was implemented, I was the one online talking the biggest mess about how they needed to have a women's game. I was the main one on there getting reposted on other HBCU outlets, like Floyd is saying this and this and that. And I'm like, oh, but I was serious because at the time we had a Misha Williams holiday. I would have loved for her to be able to have that type of game to play in. So I was definitely talking my trash, but then they reached out to me and they said, hey, we would love to bring you in. And I got to work with Nia Simone, whom I love. Her father also played in the NFL. And so we have that connection. And then Simone Stanley, who I've been running this race with for as long as I could remember. And so to see her today, Simone Stanley today, and just to look at how far we come was something that made me very emotional. But I always tell people, send that email. I would sit at my job at the fitness center and I printed it out. I printed out a list of all the conferences I felt like I could maybe get a opportunity with.
Right.
I emailed around like 50 people. I emailed so many people, and I maybe gotten, some no's, some yeses, some maybes, but that's all that I've done that was special to get my opportunities.
What's so funny you said that. I remember when you sent me the message asking, Mr. Mosley, is there any opportunities for you to write? Yes, please, yes. And I was like, yeah, that's so great. I felt honored that you wanted to write with HBCU Legends. So yeah, that was, guys, if you heard it from Ty, put it into action. And she went into action. That's the thing that people don't get right there, is that you did your research, you sent out the information, and you just were not just sitting idly by waiting for someone to just pick up the phone one day. You just kept doing it. And that's how you got to do it. Well, that's how you rattlers do it, right? Y'all strike again, right?
Strike and strike again. Absolutely. And to your point, I mean, I reached out to you and you were so gracious in helping me at the time really build my confidence, because at the time I was taking a lot of hits and there was a lot of uncertainty about my career, and you bringing me on and helping me with my writing, because I want everybody to know writing is the foundation to everything
we do. Yes.
Everything. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm the type of journalist that would try to get away from it in every way that I can. Like, oh, I don't want to write. But now it's like, okay, when I do content for A&M or Celebration Bowl, MEAC, SWAC, I'm writing scripts. I'm writing everything. And I'm writing down my own questions and have to make sure it sounds good. So writing is the foundation to everything. And had I not worked with HBCU Legends, I don't think that I would be where I am today, because it's just that important. And under your mentorship and guidance, like, it really helped me out. And you're crying, but I have to tell you, like, I had to make sure that I said that to you, especially on this platform, because it really played a huge part in my journey, not just in helping me as a journalist, but also as a woman, because I was ready to go be a flight attendant for Delta and see the world. Yeah, honestly.
But you know what, Ty? The thing is, and I'm glad God kind of steered you the way he steered you. But I like the fact that you took a chance and you kept believing, even in the midst of where it looked very, very cloudy. Think about this. You worked 3 part-time jobs, and you still were believing in yourself. And sometimes God puts certain people in your pathways to kind of help you out as well. And I know there are quite a few ladies in the industry that really helped you out. Would you name a few?
Oh my God, I would love to. Obviously, Tiffany Green. I've known Tiffany for so long.
Another rattler.
Another rattler. Tiffany and I met when she worked for Bright House Sports. It's no longer Bright House Sports, it's Spectrum.
Okay.
She worked for Bright House Sports in Orlando, Florida, and she was actually doing a story on my childhood best friend, Simber Larkin, Barry Larkin's daughter. And
Okay.
I just so happened to be at the house one day and she interviewed me. And that's kind of how our relationship really started, me being an athlete in Central Florida. And then I get to FAM and I saw her again and we were able to talk about it. And ever since then, she's had her hand on me, guiding me, gave me a few nudges to go into play-by-play years ago. And I was like, ooh,
Really?
I don't know, girl. I don't know about that. And now I'm like, oh my God, I want to do it so bad. But Tiffany Green, love her so much. Pam Oliver. Pam Oliver is the reason
Another rattler.
Big skin.
Yeah.
Another rattler, a legend. But she's the reason why I'm growing my thick skin. And just to see, the way that people talk about her, like she's not an Emmy Award winning, Gracie Award winning.
Yeah.
I remember my freshman year, and she was like, I don't care what them people are going to say. They don't pay my bills. And I was like, you know what? Clock it. Because exactly. And it's been hard for me to embody that mindset. But I recognized it in myself when I was getting dragged by a certain HBCU fan base.
Really?
Love them though. But
okay.
I didn't respond. And I was just kind of laughing at it. And I was like, oh, like whatever. And I was like kind of thinking to myself, wow, I'm doing it like Pam. Like in that way, in the way that she's just so strong. Another person, Laura Oakman.
Very instrumental person.
Man, her organization Galvanize, I say revitalized my career. And she does not like when I say that. But it's the truth. To be around women who are chasing the same thing, who are like-minded, who will lift each other up in certain circumstances, it's extremely important. And it's something that I'm so grateful to have been able to do so many boot camps, be able to go to San Francisco with her, have them pull out the Lombardi trophy that my dad won. I mean, like so many amazing things. Laura has done so much for me and my growth, not just as a journalist, but as a person. And I'm so grateful to her, and she does not like this credit. And when she sees this, she'll probably be like, girl, please. But she really has done so much. Larisha Harris, Tiffany Blackman, those two ladies, they're younger. So I feel like, with I don't want to say the older generation, I'm sorry, ladies, but like the generations are different. So they're able to kind of be the bridge that meets me right in the middle. And I love having them around. And Larisha Harris told me the last time I saw her just last year when I was telling her how I wanted to do play-by-play and I wanted to do all these things. And she said, just be patient. Your time is coming. It happens gradually, then all of a sudden. And I wish I would have really listened, because it really does happen gradually and all of a sudden. Because I'm at my all of a sudden and I'm like, and so I know this is only the beginning.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But I would say those are some women that I just absolutely love and who have done so much for me.
Yeah. Inspirational. The whole story is just inspirational, but those ladies really laid a good foundation and the support that you get for what you have been doing as well. And you can look at some other people in the industry. You can name names if you choose to, but Tiffany Green really I remember first meeting Tiffany at a Southern University Jackson State game. And when Jay came out of the booth at halftime, does anyone have any Advil? I don't know why I did this in the airport. Coming to the game, I bought a bottle of Advil. True story. I don't know why I bought it. And now I know the reason why, because Tiffany Green needed that Advil. God was sending me to that spot where I said, yeah, well, of course I have some. And she came out and she gave me the biggest hug. And I was like, oh man. So she just stole my heart then. And she's always going to be in my heart because I'm going to always support her as well as Jay, whatever they do, So Tiffany is a great person. A lot of people kind of sleep on Pam Oliver, and I don't understand why. Pam is a legend legend, guys. And if it were not for Pam doing a lot of things she's done and has done in our industry, you wouldn't have a Ty Floyd. So let's just put that there. All right, Ty, your family has been very instrumental in your growth and development as well. Talk about your dad, talk about your family, your brother, everybody, your mom. Just give us a glimpse of your support system.
Absolutely. I want to start out with the two matriarchs, Sue Timmons and Sylvia Floyd, my two grandmothers. My grandma Sue, she came from Thailand as a young woman.
Is that how you got your name, Ty?
It is, yes.
Okay, all right.
My granddad was in Vietnam, and he was like, "Hey, I'm from around the way. I'm leaving here with something." And he got him a wife. So I respect it.
She's so beautiful. She is so beautiful. Yeah.
She's amazing, and I think that I have the strength of both of my grandmothers, because my grandma, for her to immigrate from her home country to come to America and start a family and do all the things that she did, is so amazing. And then my grandmother Sylvia, she's also a trailblazer. She was one of the first Black RNs in like her region of Florida, like in North Florida. So it's the strength of both of them. I feel like I have in my heart and carry with me all day, every day. I love those women. And then my dad, of course, just being born to the game. Honestly, I'm definitely born to the game, born in California, the only kid that wasn't born in Florida. My dad had to leave training camp to come see me be born. So wow. I've been in the game for a very, very long time. And after his retirement, he worked on TV and in radio. He still works for Florida State Radio. We practice together.
Really?
Yeah, we do. We practice together. And he has been teaching me the game and just trying to get me prepared for this role, not just in the aspect of learning football and like knowing broadcast and how to do it, but also in making sure I'm tough, making sure I'm strong, making sure I don't listen to any of the noise and just do me. And so by his example, I've always known how to grind. I've always known how to get it. I've also always known how to hustle. And I really appreciate my upbringing and how unique it is and how I'm able to apply it to this journey, and the fact that I've done a lot of it on merit and not, I don't really know how to word this, but just not relying on the
not
fact
nepotism, but just on your merit. Yeah, I get, and it's great because people know the quality of work you've been able to put out wherever you've gone, from the sideline interviews to the play-by-play at the All-Star game to just being Ty Floyd. They know you, and you're not shy about being the genuine you that you are. So, and that's really good. Your dad helping you with play-by-play, but you also had a couple of people at Alabama A&M helping you as well. Who were those people kind of going over how to diagnose plays and things to that nature?
I've been stuck to these coaches like glue the entire summer. I sit in their meetings. I will go and ask them personal questions. Like after the meeting, I'm like, what does this mean? And what does this mean? And what is that? And what is that? My dad has told me it's not really at this point for me about schemes and like all of these different things, not to stress myself out about all the nuances and intricacies of the game. That's not me though. I know that in order for me to be great, be the best, I'm going to have to know it in depth. So that's why I'm going this route. But the game is so broad. The game is so unique. There's so many things to digest. I've been a casual viewer for a long time. Now I have to be able to give the information to the casual viewer. So I want to make sure that I'm doing my very best. But I would sit and talk to the coaches. I have books I've been reading and studying and really just doing all that I can do. But all of our coaches, our new coaching staff, Coach Shade, Coach Mai, who I talk to all the time, Coach Alexander, Coach Fobbs, Coach Latson, Coach Coleman, who gave me his login to go be able to watch all of the different plays, formations, schemes, zones. I mean, all of that stuff. And then our players. I love my guys. My players, they're so supportive of me, and they will answer questions for me. They will sit here and they do their own thing, their own studies. They'll go to the field and throw. I'm so excited because the way that I'm going to really, really learn the route tree is by going out to run with the wide receivers. So this is going to be this is going to be great. But those are the people who have been helping me, and I greatly appreciate how much they see my passion and how serious I am about it. And they embrace it. They love telling people. These coaches love telling people about their niece. These players love telling people about their big sis / auntie.
That's right.
And they have helped me tremendously.
Yeah. I'm right there with them. So yeah, I understand. Man, that's really great. Who's gonna be in the booth with you?
I don't know the answer.
Okay. No, you don't know your color analyst yet. Okay.
Yes, but I do know that they have, actually, I do know who it is. I don't want to butcher his name, but he does have an extensive amount of experience at this role. And so I'm excited to work alongside him. He works and does so many sports at A&M. And I think that we're going to work really, really well together. So I'm excited to be able to tee it up and throw it to my color guy and really just see where this season takes us. I'm so excited to take everything that I've learned and I've seen around the industry, especially with being around my dad and watching him and Jeff Colhane, formerly Gene Deckerhoff, the legend, and watch how they kind of do things at Florida State and be able to bring it to us, like having visuals in the booth, doing breakdowns every quarter or halftime, and just continue to connect with our fan base and give them a glimpse of the game.
Awesome. Beautiful. Let's take a quick look here. Now that's at the Celebration Bowl with Coach Chinnis Berry.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
You know, and he's like, you know, Mosley, oh, we got to do it like this. I'm like, okay, Coach, I got you.
I'm so excited to see him next week.
Yeah, love him, man. And then I remember this one.
Hey,
this was like 3 or 4 years ago, right?
2022, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember the live feed watching you doing this. So yeah.
Crazy story.
That just brings back memories there.
I was just an intern for the SWAC, and I went to Birmingham. It was my first sporting event post-COVID. I get there, and I was just going to be doing digital and social media the whole time. This is what I'm thinking. And I'm standing here, I get there talking to Andrew Roberts, and he's like, yeah, so we want you to step in at sideline. And I was like, oh, for real? I'm like, well, in my mind, I'm like, what? But to him, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, let's do it. I'm ready. Let's go. Oh my gosh, I wish you would have told me so I could have packed some TV outfits. Like, just playing it cool in front of him. And I think I went to the bathroom and let out an audible scream for so many reasons. Like, number one, oh my gosh, am I ready? Holy crap. Number two, what? Yeah, girl, stay ready. So you don't have to get ready. You're here, and you're doing it. And then like, oh my God, I got to tell my mama and daddy I'm going to be on TV tomorrow. So that it was a lot of things. But I remember right before the SWAC tournament, I knew that I was going, and like at that time, I was just really, really grinding. And I remember the 2 weeks leading up to the SWAC tournament, I put in so much work at my part-time job to make sure that I had enough money for food, accommodations, everything that I needed. And to go and just to have that experience, not even knowing that God was going to bless me like that, was so amazing. And that was the spark. Wow.
And I remember also when you had Coach Tamika Reed, she was so impressed by a question that you asked her as well.
I remember it like yesterday.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. All right. Now here, Revolt News. That was a great quote that you gave to Game Day. Stephen Gaither and those guys, Wally Pitt, as well as Tolly. And
Yep.
yeah, that's a great quote. And of course, this is when the news kind of broke and everybody was like, wow, look at that. That's a great photo. That's a great photo. That's something you could probably mount on your wall, years from now.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh. Our staff photo, I did not like that button up. I fought until I could not. And I said, guys, please, can I please wear something else? I don't want to wear this button up. And they were like, no. And I'm like, okay.
Well, and here you are now you did a radio spot the other day, right?
Yes, Jay Crum. He messaged me and it aligned perfectly because I was already going to be in Birmingham. So I was like, of course, I'll hit the road early for you. And it was really cool. I enjoyed it.
Cool. And that's her doing her selfies there, guys. Had to throw that in.
Oh, yes. My curly hair. Oh my gosh. I love it.
Cool. All right. So you have less than 44 days before the kickoff. And I know there's going to be a lot of planning in place. But before we talk about that, let you go, the Alabama A&M, do you guys call yourselves the PR department or
athletics?
The athletics department. You guys were honored not too long ago, and you got a couple of journalism awards. Talk about that as well.
I got an esteemed Women in Media award. It meant a lot to me because I was honored alongside my Florida A&M classmates as well. It was all women who went to FAMU. And it was so beautiful because I remember I'm looking at all of us like, wow, I remember sitting in class with y'all. Like we were really in class, sitting here talking about the things that we wanted to do, where we wanted to be. And for us to be at CNN, working for Tyler Perry, working for one of the biggest blogs in entertainment, working in all these different networks and media conglomerates. And I'm like, wow. It goes to say a lot about our program and where we graduated from. If you didn't matriculate at 510 or drive, you don't know what we went through. We went through a lot. We went through so much. And these kids now, they be coming to me and telling me, oh, we did. I'm like, man, y'all did not have to survive the same things we had to survive. Dr. Juanita Hayes, Dr. White, Dr. Grable. Ooh. Y'all didn't have to survive that, but it was just so amazing for all of us to be able to be honored and hear the speeches. It was beautiful. It was really, really beautiful. And I also got honored along with Alabama A&M. For me to be here only a year and to have the impact that I've had is really beautiful, because the bigger picture is if we're getting honored for this, that means that people are seeing our content, which means even though I'm not much older than them, people are seeing my kids. And that means the most to me, because we have some great stories here. We have some great stories like Carson Vincent, who just got drafted. HBCU through and through. Both parents went to HBCUs, went to Winston-Salem. His mom and his dad. And for him to have people, especially with the portal, be like, hey, come over here. Come be with us. And he was like, nope, I'm going to graduate from Alabama A&M, graduate, get drafted, and be putting on for our school is amazing. Because you know how it is with HBCU guys. I mean, like, look at Isaiah Land was supposed to be drafted and fell through the cracks. And, thank God. Marquise Bell. These are guys that were supposed to be drafted too. So Carson to be drafted in the 5th round, there's gravity behind that. So for me to be able to sit here and watch these guys matriculate, tell their stories, watch them, some of them be parents, watch some of them graduate with multiple degrees, watch some of them have their own businesses. It means a lot to me to be able to tell their stories. And so I'm grateful we were honored, because it means that in a way, their stories, their vulnerability, all of that was rewarded and honored as well.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. I want to go back here.
I got time for you.
I like this one too.
Yes, TJ Judkins. He said, "Put your feet up and do this," and I'm like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah, you're taking charge there. Yeah, I like it.
Great shot.
And this one, this is where I wanted to get to right there. You and Tiff.
My girl.
Yeah,
Love her.
special. Okay, so who's the first game of the season for you?
Arkansas. We play Arkansas, and that weekend for me is going to be a marathon. I've joked with people that last week was my last week being a normal person, being like just low key and under the radar, because now it's just a lot of press, interviews. But not only that, like work now. I just came back from SWAC Media Day, got MEAC Media Day next week, which I'm very, very excited for. I have these pictures. This might make me emotional. I have these pictures from when I first graduated. One of the pictures is with Michael Vick. My dad was able to finesse some credentials for me to be able to go cover the Pro Bowl. I interviewed Lamar there. So
I remember that.
Me being able to go to M&T Bank where Lamar plays, is just it's a testament to how far I've come. Interviewing Michael Vick there, being able to interview him again. Yeah. It's crazy. Deshaun Jackson. I saw him on the sideline of an XFL game. I was like, Dad, I'm scared. I don't want to ask him. My dad was like, hey, Deshaun. Was able to interview Deshaun Jackson. I have a picture with him as well. And to be able to like now be in the space, to be a credentialed working, for someone, and to just go out there and be able to interview those guys it's special. Yeah. It's full circle, right? It's amazing. I'm so excited, but we have that going on. And then, of course, MEAC SWAC Challenge kickoff. That's where I'll be doing digital for that. After that, I have our game at Arkansas, my first game at play-by-play. I'm really excited for that. But I travel with the team to Arkansas. I come back, fly back to Huntsville, hit the road to Birmingham to catch a flight to Canton to do the Black College Hall of Fame game at Sideline. Oh, awesome. Yes. So it's going to be a marathon. I'm going to have to sleep for like 3 days, but I'm really excited.
Well, great. And I get to see you at the end of the season here in Houston, where you guys will be battling against Coach Chris Dishman and the Texas Southern Tigers.
Oh my gosh. I got to talk to Coach Dishman today, and just his excitement for what's to come, and just how boldly he talks about this season and walking into it really excites me as a football fan and HBCU football fan. And I'm excited. I only got to go to Houston one time. That was when we did the HBCU Battle of the Bands. Right. And so I'm excited to go and to be able to do this game at Texas Southern and obviously see you.
Well, look, I'm going to knock on the booth. I don't care if they tell me, put me in some handcuffs. I'm getting in the booth by one way, shape, or form. Hey, look, I got to say something. They're going to be taking me out. Look, if Dr. McClellan is anywhere around, he'll make sure to get Mosley out of here. We don't need him around here.
I love Commissioner. Commissioner actually congratulated me today, which was amazing. I mean, I just love the SWAC family so much, and just all that they've done for me. And I'm excited to represent us.
Yeah, he and Andrew are great. Andrew really has helped me out a lot over the years as well. So I'm proud of you. So proud of you. And I know a lot of other people are proud of you as well. I can't wait to see and hear some of your calls this year. Tell everybody how they could be able to follow you on the air.
Yeah, absolutely. So how we will be broadcasting our games is WJAB. That's our campus flagship station. So make sure to listen to us. Also, make sure to follow us on all of our social medias. AAMU Athletics, AAMU FB. Also follow WJAB, because we're going to be adding some really nice visuals to all of the calls throughout the league during the game. And I'm excited for that, because
it's going to be live streamed as well.
Yeah, so we're going to have some cameras up in the booth. They're going to be facing us. So you're going to be able to see us the whole time. It's a running joke because my father has a camera in front of him. And there's a video literally of, I think they muffed a punt, and he was like, he literally threw the binoculars down and turned around. It was just so funny. Let me see if I can pull this video real quick. But it was funny because they were like tied, like that's how passionate you get about the game. I'd be on the sideline last year, like, oh, like, come on, like, what are we doing? Come on. The guys told me they're gonna miss my sideline presence because they're like, man, you used to get us together. If we ever had a bad attitude, you would be there and we would look at you and you'd give us that like that mom tea look.
Oh my God.
Not regular auntie.
Not the auntie, but the mom tea look.
High spiraling kick. McCoy. Oh, he dropped it. It's muffed by McCoy.
Heard the rock.
It's gonna be you. Like,
now, do you have your binoculars as well?
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You know, my dad said he's getting me a starter kit as a gift. So
yeah, that'll be pretty cool, man. You got to get your binoculars.
Yeah.
I know a couple of play-by-play guys. That's all they do. They're doing this and into the mic at the same time. You know, so yeah,
me for sure.
That'll be cool. All right. Well, Ty, tell everybody how they can follow you on social media as well as on the World Wide Web.
Yes. Honestly, this weekend I'll be working hard at it. www.tyfloydonair.com will be back up, so you'll be able to go look at me. I'll have weekly updates, and I'm thinking of even doing a newsletter just to chronicle the journey. So I'll make sure I tweet that and put that out. You can follow me on Twitter at Ty Ali Floyd, ThaiAlifloyd. My middle name is Ali. You could follow me on Instagram, Ty A Floyd. And people get a little confused. They think my name is Taya. No, my name's Ty Ali. The A is my middle name. Because I'm verified, and I got verified a long time ago, back when like you couldn't pay for it or whatever.
That's right.
The process of changing my name is actually kind of crazy. Like I have to email Instagram, and I ain't trying to do all that. So yeah, that's how you can follow me. And you can add me on Facebook, but my mom gets she asks a lot of questions when people comment. Like, who is that? Where do you know them from? Who do you know? Blah, blah, blah.
Just being protective. That's all.
Yes. She don't play. I wouldn't mess with Mama Floyd.
Don't mess with Mama. Don't mess with Mama. Well, Ty, look, we're going to be here. We're going to be there. And we're going to be in the seats listening and paying attention to everything that you're doing. Have some memorable calls, have fun doing it, enjoy yourself, but also make sure you get the audience engaged with you.
Absolutely.
That's the most important thing, right?
Absolutely. I can't wait to call some great games and hopefully say a lot. Touchdown Bulldogs.
Yeah. Well, look, Sam Shade, those guys going to bring it. You know, he's a great coach, and I think it will be a great year. And I think all around, thinking about, and I mentioned this to Coach Thornton, you have Coach Thornton, you have Coach Shade, you have Coach Jackson now. Man, that's just a great lineup, and you guys are going to be doing some great things on the Hill.
That we are. I'm excited. Our 150th year this year, and we are going to do some awesome, awesome things.
All right. I'm Kyle T. Mosley. That's Ty Floyd. You can follow HBCU Legends at HBCU Legends on all social media platforms. And you can follow me at KTMOZE on X. I want to say Twitter, but on X as well as on all the other social media platforms as well. Ty, thank you so much. Love you. And, you know, if you ever need me, I know you're big time now. She won't give me an autograph any longer.
I'm going to call you. Please.
I'll be praying for you, and I know you will have many, many blessings ahead. Okay?
Thank you.
All right.
For everything.
You guys take care and have a great day.
Your own network. Steve from Gideo TV had to build out the infrastructure. We had to do a lot of testing. There's a lot of resources that have to be put in. You know, we quite frankly stole a lot of operational plans from the Sun Belt and the SEC. And we just want to be able to create a network that our games could be home to, as well as archive. I think one of the significant things that are going to be a part of Swag TV outside of all of the games that we're going to show is the ability to archive. So we realize on ESPN Plus, those games are archived around 30 days. We're looking for our games to be archived for a significant amount of time. As a matter of fact, part of our strategic plan is to get it right here on all of these platforms and then move to some form of free TV like Pluto TV, to where we have our own channel, and ultimately to some televised network on linear TV. We're going to need those archive games to show, to be able to go back and show the 1984 Mississippi Valley State versus Alcorn game. So the level of exposure we think that is going to bring is going to be highly significant. And it's just going to be more than just football and basketball. We're going to do Olympic sports. We're going to do all of our sports, our female sports. We're going to have track on there. We're going to have tennis. We're going to have golf. So it's going to be an expanded opportunity. And also, Chris, what we looked at over the course of those 3 years was the behavior of our fans, where they watch the games, how long they watch the games, how many minutes they watched the games, how many people were watching the games, when they switched off. We have all of those metrics. And ultimately what we found was there was a significant amount in order for us to start this network. And there were some instances where we had more people watching Swag Digital Network than they were watching ESPN Plus. We have those games that are on HBCU Go. We have those games that are on ESPN, and then our games. When you start get down in the middle of the season, at the end of the season, nobody really knows which one of those games are going to be most significant. You can guess, but now you don't have to choose. You can see them all. It's just a matter of which platform.
And that was actually going to be my follow-up question. Does this, change anything with respect to your agreements with HBCU Go or ESPN, or is this just another sort of link in the chain for Swag Digital?
HBCU Go, ESPN, and the Southwestern Athletic Conference are all on the same page. Again, there are a lot of contractual things that have to be worked through. It took us 3 years to get here, but all three networks are on the same page. We're all synonymous with each other and what's going on, and we're looking for a great, long-lasting relationship with all of our television partners.
All right, Dr. McCullough, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate you.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, HBCU Legends fans, as well as Black Sports Insiders, we have another great interview, 2 interviews on today to be able to deliver to you guys. One, I love this young man because I watched him kind of grow and mature into a young, he's not just a young man, he's a man in my opinion. And he's also one of those guys that has brought some great excitement to the Southwest Athletic Conference when he was playing for Texas Southern, and now he's at Alabama State. We're talking about the quarterback, none other than Mr. Andrew Body. Yeah. How you doing, Andrew?
I'm blessed, Mr. Mosley. I'm blessed. I appreciate you having me on the show today.
Oh, wow. Look, man, we've been trying to get you on the show for a while. Look, I was saying all the time I've interviewed and talked to Andrew, we never actually had him on the show, and we have to be able to end this. But we're doing it for a good cause, right?
Yes, sir.
Because you are, and I like what you're doing because I see a lot more young college stars are putting on youth camps, and this is your 3rd youth camp that you're putting on near your old stomping grounds, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
We wanted you to come on in and talk a little bit about that and just share with the people what to expect from your youth camp.
Well, first off, I got to thank God for putting me in a position to have a camp and really just be able to put myself in front of the kids, because I knew that I was literally in that same position not too long ago. So that's really the main thing, because me coming up at my age, not too many guys really came back to the city, and truth be told, not too many guys really stayed in college. Like, you have really a handful. And I know the older generation really was the guys that had guys that were able to go to the NFL and stuff like that. So I feel like it's just an awesome opportunity for the kids to come and just be able to see what they could be. Because That's the thing that I'm finna do, man. I'm breaking a generational curse for my city, man. So that's the thing. Once I get to this league and I do what I gotta do, it's just gonna take my camp to another level. But what y'all can expect is the kids to just, first off, just be able to get a connection with me, on and off the field. Just because I even got some guys that I had added on some social media, and they'll hit me up every now and then, and they'll be like, "Hey, Drew," or "Hey, B," like, is there something that you see like on this drop I'm doing or something like that? Like, is there something that you could point out to help me? And I feel like that's amazing because me being in the position I'm in, there ain't nothing else I would rather do than help the youth. Like, because my thing was me coming into college as a freshman, and during that COVID time, first, not only did I have to attend my university without a visit or even knowing what it looked like, but then I'm over there and I'm really behind the curve, truthfully, from a quarterback position,
Oh
as far
wow.
as kind of
Yeah.
being like a little underdeveloped as far as like the film room and stuff like that. So, I mean, I feel like the earlier the kids start, like the better. So, just kind of putting that nugget in their head while they're in middle school, elementary, young high school, like, once y'all go to college, it's gonna be a different level, and I don't want y'all to be in the same position I was in. I'd rather y'all be a little bit ahead of the curve, or at least everybody's starting off at the same point, so then it's a fair race.
True. Yeah, that's a
Um,
great point, man. A lot of young kids, like you say, once they get into some organized ball, it's not as organized as when you get to the next level and level and the next level. But introducing them to it now is great for you to do. How many campers do you usually have there?
I would say the first year I probably had about 50 to 75, and then this past year I probably about had 100 to 150. So
Wow.
honestly, it's really not even about the number, because if I had 10 kids come out there, man, I'm finna train the heck out them 10 kids for real. Like, so I'm just blessed that I have all that love and support coming from my city, and that they just truly believe in me.
Yeah. Now, when you have the camp, do you have some of your fellow players or some of the guys that you used to play with come and help you out?
So actually, and I'm glad you just said that, Mr. Mosley. You always be on it, man. You always do be on it. But that's actually gonna be a little surprise that I did have for this year's camp. So usually, so the first year I did have a couple of my old teammates come. The second year, it was a little bit tougher just because the time frame. But this year, I'm gonna have a lot of my old teammates that I played with at Roy Miller High School while I was there in Corpus Christi be a lot of the position coaches and my assistant coaches. Like, I have, you're not gonna be too familiar with these names, but when they see it, they'll know who they are. Like, I'm gonna have Adrian Lloyd, Bubba Lloyd, Cassius Clay. I'm trying to get Marcel Davis, but I'm gonna have a lot of my old guys out there. My center, Austin Lavelle. So I feel like that's gonna be a full circle moment, like completely. Like, I'm going literally all the way back to the stomping grounds with my guys.
That's
Wow.
good, man. But hey, you got to do that sometimes, man. And it's like your boys are the ones you rode with and you're going to ride and die with a lot
Yes,
of
sir.
times, right? Kyle.
I mean, Andrew, I gotta say, I got to watch you grow. I was young too, but I'm able to watch you grow and mature and become like a real role model that a lot of these young men can follow. I think that's very important. So I just want to ask you a question. Going into this camp, with you being the role model that you have become, going into the NFL though, you want to continue this camp and grow it with the NFL's Play 60 grant?
I feel like that would be something I most definitely communicate with them. I'm not as really too familiar with the details with that, but I would probably do something like that and still have my separate camp, because really I can't say too much about my next year's camp, but these upcoming years it's gonna be a lot better for the kids as well. So I got something in store for them. But I feel like that would be a pretty dope idea right there to play 60. That's tough.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, definitely. That was a good one. Let's see here, guys. Here's this camp, the third annual AB1. I love the logo, man. How
I
did you come up
appreciate
with
you.
that design, that
And
concept?
so it's funny, man. I really have a slick art side to me. So I'm literally, I want to say this was might have been my sophomore, junior year of high school. me and my mom, like, we were just talking one day, and she was like, "You need to start getting like your brand stuff together." Like, I'm like, "Should
That's
I do
true.
that? Like, for real? Like, you think so?" And she was like, "Yeah, like, you need to get a logo and stuff." So, literally, I have an old picture. It was in one of my art journals. I just started sketching, and so I wrote an A, and then I put a B on side. I'm like, hold on, that could be like a 1 right here between the A and the B.
Yeah.
And so sure enough, it really just ended up working out. And then I'm not sure if y'all were too familiar with my first drop. I'm currently rebranding my brand right now because I'm trying to find some new people to plug in. But I had made like a little Uno card, like kind of like but with the 1 and then the AB in the middle. So I'll probably end up redropping that. But that was something I had also drew up as well.
Really? Man,
Yes, sir.
I love it, man. I thought it was when I first saw it, I was like, man, that's real creative. And it caught my attention and it's unique. It stands out.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's what we love to hear. I mean, we love to hear about the sports, but that creativity, that artistic side, we can see it channeling into your play style, man. Because you're really creative. You feel me? I mean, you when you're outside of the box, it's insane. The work that you're doing back there is crazy. You running around, and I can't do it. So I'm gonna leave it to you.
I
Every time.
appreciate it. I'm gonna handle it for us, Cal. I'm gonna handle it for us.
Thank you.
Well, good. Now, what days will the camp take place?
So it'll be on the July 25th and 26th. So that'll be that Friday and Saturday, of the week of the 21st, I believe. So the first day, typically the way I try to do it, I'll have the younger guys come on the first day and try to have the older guys come on the second day. But
Okay.
I'm never gonna turn nobody away. So whoever really comes on the first day, I always just tell them like, go ahead. Like if you feel like you want to come back on the second day, like go ahead, come back. Like let's get work.
Cool. Now, what are the ages? Do they have to be specific ages, or you taking everybody from middle school and high school?
So I'm doing 7 years old to graduate and seniors, but honestly, like if it's a kid and they're like 5 and 6 and they've been playing ball, and, they want to come out there and have fun. Like I'm never gonna turn no kids away, my God. Like I can't. I'll be wrong as all get out if I did that. So I accept pretty much everyone, even girls could come to the camp as well, because I know they've been implementing a lot of the girls flag football and stuff like that.
Right.
And actually today we had just visited the Atlanta Dream place, and we were talking with the president and a couple of their representatives, and that's pretty much what the president was talking about as well. Like right now, things that's going up is females. Like the female sports world is really kind of going up on the grid. So it's
It
like,
is.
you know what I mean? At this point, that's what it's gonna turn into. Like females gonna end up doing everything, I'm sure. They have the capability, so why not?
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, didn't Alabama State have
First
a?
D1.
Yeah. You guys got the flag football team, right?
Yes, sir.
Wow,
That's awesome.
man. Congratulations on that. Now, guys, it's going to be in Corpus Christi, right? And it's going to be at Taft High School, and you guys can still go online to. Is it online to register, or how do they go about registering?
So there's a website. I have it in my Instagram bio. I believe on the flyer I sent you, and I'm finna repost it probably this afternoon, just so it could be back up. There'll be a QR code on there as well that you can scan, and it'll just take you directly to the website.
Okay.
But I was gonna say, as far as locations, the first day is gonna be in Taft, Texas, so it's just 30 minutes away from Corpus Christi. That's where I had really that's where I was raised at for like elementary up till 8th grade, and then the second day will be in Corpus Christi at John Paul.
Okay.
All right. 2 different locations, man.
Yes,
So
sir.
you guys can grab him over at Taft, and then you guys can grab him in Corpus Christi as well. So we're going to have more information about Andrew's camp. We're going to put it on the HBCU Legends site on SI. So you're going to have that available as well. So guys, it's a great chance to be able to meet Andrew. He's got some what you say, Andrew, got some surprises, some guest surprises that are going to be there. So you guys should be pretty happy. That's pretty dope to be able to have. So let's talk about this, Andrew. When these young guys get there, do they need to bring anything with them, or is it just need to bring their t-shirt and
I would
shorts
say
and their skates or
primarily
whatever?
quarterbacks, if they could bring a ball, that would be amazing. If you're a quarterback, you probably shouldn't leave nowhere without a ball, especially go to a camp without a football. Um, Always, well, you gotta have your cleats for the field, for the turf, for the grass, and really just come in some shirt and shorts, just so you ain't too hot. We'll have some waters and drinks available to purchase. I believe we should, and then we'll also have some waters there for the kids. But we would recommend to bring water as well because it's gonna be hot. I'm knowing it's gonna be hot.
Right, right. And if you guys any business owners out there you want to help sponsor or donate anything for the camp, this is your opportunity to do so. Also, go to Andrew's site, his Instagram site. You can be able to find the links there, and we're going to also post the links a little bit later on HBCU Legends. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Cool. Well, let's talk about Alabama State a little bit.
That's
If you guys
real.
didn't know, Andrew's now a Noop.
I am. Yes, sir.
Congratulations, man.
I
You went over.
appreciate you.
Oh, what's your line name?
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. All right. I like that. All right. That's pretty good. So, look, man, you guys have a pretty treacherous road coming out of the gate when you have your first game against UAB. And
Yes,
then
sir.
you guys have to go to Southern and play in Munford Stadium on the road in Baton Rouge. Then you have Miles College, last year's D2 winner, to be able to come and visit you guys. And then the rematch, which I saw you guys in homecoming against FAMU, but you guys going down to Tallahassee this time. And then you have a homecoming that's a little bit early this year for you guys, because usually Alabama State is in the middle of the month, but you guys play Bethune-Cookman. Talk about just those games as well as that Jackson State game. How do you guys feel preparing for it right now?
Well, first, I got to kind of correct you a little bit on the word treacherous. I guess it just depends who's looking at it. But I'm very excited, man. Honestly, obviously, the first game we got UAB. That's going to be a solid team coming out. But I just feel like that's a great opportunity for my whole team, really, to put ourselves on display. You know, they're in a bigger conference. They're FBS, so I don't expect nothing else but a upset.
Yeah.
So,
and that's what Trent Dilfer's team, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
Coach Trent Dilfer, Super Bowl winning quarterback, is now the coach over there at UAB. And then you're gonna face the Jaguars.
Then we got Southern. I'm actually pretty excited about that game as well. Just going down to BR. You know, we had went down there with TSU when I was there, but I didn't get an opportunity to play. So I feel like it's gonna be a great atmosphere. They most definitely know how to get the crowd going. So I know they're gonna be booing a lot. So it is what it is.
Yeah, the SWAC West representatives from last season, and
Yes,
Miles is a good one. But the matchup against Florida A&M in Tallahassee, have you been there before to play a game?
So I have not been there, nor have I played against FAMU. So that's another game I'm looking forward to. We had played them in 23. I didn't participate in that game, and then we had played them this past season with State, and I wasn't able to participate as well. So they got something coming.
Oh, okay. Bethune-Cookman, the Wildcats, they are rising, and they get a chance to visit Montgomery for homecoming. And then you guys go over to Jackson, Mississippi. Now, you did play a game over there
played
at the
Jackson,
Vet,
yes, sir.
and you played them very tough over there, man. You had Coach Deion Sanders and those guys on the ropes a little bit. Talk about playing in the Vet.
We're looking forward to it. I came here to Alabama State, and I guess that's like our little rival right there. So we're gonna have to go down to the Vet and handle business. That's the only thing we focus on with that. Me and my guys, we've been prepping all summer, all off season, really ever since the last game of the season. So we just preparing, and we just letting this food marinate and let everybody eat when the season starts.
Gotcha. Kyle?
Hey, I mean, I'm looking at this game versus Southern, and I'm looking at this game versus FAMU, and I think I don't know, man. I'm getting excited for you, Andrew, because I think in that game versus FAMU, I just feel like 400 yards, 3 TDs. I don't know, man. I'm thinking
You
a
talking my language.
generational performance in that FAMU game. You got to put it on if you're gonna be on the road, man. I think you can, and I think you will. I'm looking forward to it. Did
It's
we
like
lose
we
Andrew?
lost Andrew for a quick second. We'll try to get him back in. But in the meantime, Kyle, let's see. Yeah, we lost his feed for a sec. But looking at everything, Kyle, and you know Andrew, and just looking at his career and where he is today, you started watching him from yay high, and now where he is. How do you feel about what you see in his progress and his progression as a, not just as an athlete, but as a man?
I mean, honestly, the results for me, you can see them on the field, but you can also see them just like in the community work, especially with events like this. You can see the growth and you can feel it, especially even on our conversation here today. It just feels like, wow, this is somebody that you can rally guys behind. You feel me? If I'm in the locker room with this guy, I don't even play football. I'm pretty sure his pregame speech is probably gonna get me hyped up. You feel me? It's the type of energy that you want in a room that you're walking into. So
Okay.
yeah, I think maturity is definitely there.
That's what he's saying about you, Andrew.
I'm sorry about that, Mr. Mosley. I don't know what just happened. I got an Amber Alert text and it then took me off the chat.
That's okay, man. All right. How do you feel, man? How's everything going? Because I know when we last communicated, you were still doing your rehab and everything.
Yes, sir.
How's everything feeling for you right now?
Everything's feeling good, going great. Really just same thing I tell my guys every day, just gaining that 1%, just making sure you're present and not only being present, but getting something out of it. So, and rehab, honestly, I don't think that's ever going to stop. That's just going to be something I could do probably the rest of my life just to have something going on and just stay strong and fit. So, shoulder feeling good, real stable, things coming together. We started our OTAs and things like that. So, I've been able to get acclimated in the team type setting. So, it's been real good, just really progressing every day.
Well, awesome. Yeah, man. I can't wait to see you back on the field as well as meeting people as well. Talk about your relationship with Coach Robinson. When I was there for homecoming, man, yeah, when I mentioned your name, he just started smiling. he loves everything about Andrew Body. Talk about how you feel under him in year 2.
First off, Coach Eddie Robinson, that's my guy, man. That's my guy. From day one, he just always kept it real with me, was real transparent, and didn't tell me what I wanted to hear, but what I needed to hear. So I ain't got nothing but the utmost respect for that man and love for him because he gave me this opportunity to open the door for me. And then as far as being up under him for the second year, I mean, who else would you want to be under than a guy that was in the position that you're going to be in within the next couple years?
Okay. All right. It looks like we lost him temporarily once again, but let's see. Is he coming back? Okay, we'll bring him back on, guys. But I do know from talking to Coach Rob personally, he thinks highly of Andrew, and a lot of people do as well.
There we go.
There we go. Okay, can you hear us, Andrew?
Y'all can hear me?
Yes.
I don't know why I can't hear you. All right, I'm gonna just keep going though. But who else would y'all rather play than the guy that's been in the position that you're finna be in, playing in the league 10 years and then doing it at a high level at that? I feel like that just the tempo and then having other coaches on the staff that's played in the league as well. Like you're literally surrounded with greatness. And you got guys that want to get better every day. And you got a coach that's going to motivate you, sometimes over motivate you, and got you want to go crazy, jump through a wall. Like literally, I still remember to this day we're playing North Carolina Central. I'm pretty sure you remember the game, Mr. Mosley.
Yeah.
So I had got out the game because I was tired. So I'm taking a knee right by him. He tap on me. He was like, "Buddy, what you doing?" I'm like, I'm catching my breath, coach. What you mean? He was like, "Man, ain't nobody work harder than you." Da 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 da. He didn't gave me a little speech right there. Literally, I go back in the game, go score that same play. So it's like when you got a coach around you like that, and then I got an offensive coordinator, Coach Chris Barnett. He's a great mind with the game. So you got coaches around you like that, you ain't got no choice but to be great. Literally.
Yeah.
And I don't expect nothing less. Like coach will ask me what do I need from him? Just hold me accountable. Hold me
But
to
that's
this
great.
standard and I'm gonna do the rest.
That's great, man. Great. Well, I tell you what, Andrew, we can chop it up a little bit later. And I love everything about your game, your family to me. So we wish you well. We wish you to have a healthy year. And we want to see you guys sting as many people as you can. You Hornets like to sting people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But put it out there and just do well. And also, whatever you need from us at HBCU Legends, we're here to support you. Okay.
Most definitely, Miss Mosley. I appreciate you. You have a blessed one.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
That's Mr. Andrew Body. And you'll see him on the field this year with Alabama State Hornets. We'll be back in a few minutes and we'll talk to Miss Kim Davis of Chalk Talk. All right. Thank you, Andrew. Take care. All right. Okay, Kyle, any last thoughts on the interview with Andrew?
You know what? I got to say, piggybacking off of what I was saying earlier before Andrew popped back in. Nah, man, even after we just spoke, something that stuck with me, he brought up accountability. That shows a high level of maturity. It takes a lot to talk about accountability as a younger person. So him bringing that up and saying that he's willing to take that accountability and keep moving forward, yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. We're going to see great things for him this season, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. All right. This young lady that we're about to bring in at this time, I love her to death. So she's a part of our Black Sports Insiders crew, but I'm so proud of her. I am. This is one of these personal interviews that I am proud of, Kyle, because she is now an author. If you guys didn't know this, Kim was the first Black female sports reporter on television in Houston, Texas. The first. She's good friends with Zena Garrison, Lori McNeil. She started her career at Texas A&M, and she was going to be a tennis star. Well, unfortunately, accident and had to pivot. And she is now here to talk about her life and what she says here, Kyle. My love language is with sports. It's complicated. Well, let's see how complicated it is. How you doing, Kim? Uh-oh, we can't hear it. Okay, go ahead.
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, good to see you.
It's the Kyles. It's the Mosleys.
How you doing?
I'm
you know
good.
your boy had to
I'm
be
always
here.
asking about you.
Yeah, she does all the time.
I know I'm on your mind, Miss Kim. I know.
I'm like, okay, how is he?
Thank you.
Yeah, you're gonna have to talk to that boy. I'll tell you a little bit later, but but he's doing great. Kim, the book is outstanding. I haven't read everything yet, but I read a lot, and a book like this, your transparency, number one, about all the things that you've gone through, and I love the affirmations that you have at the end of the chapters as well as positive reflections. And we'll go over a few of those, but just talk about the inspiration for the book.
So, first of all, I'm glad you are enjoying it. And, the inspiration was really my mom. She and Zena, they've always, I'm a storyteller. And so for years they've been saying, you got to write, you should be writing stories, you should be writing books. I mean, like for decades. And I've had people throughout my career along the journey ask me about you should write a book. I just would like to know about your story and your journey. And so I didn't for the longest. a little bit of humility, but also I had to figure a way that it could be a book about something other than just, hey, look at me, here's my life. And nothing wrong with people who tell their stories, but for me, the way I'm wired, and I really am a journalist, the stories usually aren't about us. So I had to find a way that I could tell the stories, tell some stories, because of course I couldn't tell all of them because then people wouldn't read it. It'd be too much, but to tell stories about the journey that were, one, as you said, transparent and authentic, but they didn't sound like I was complaining. I chose this path. I knew it would be challenging, and that was on me. It was something that I wanted to do. So when I finally found a way to say, okay, if I can tell the story this way, give people lessons from the field, so you don't have to be a journalist or you don't have to be in sports. The way that I sum it up, Kyle, is I say, if somebody is going to having to navigate a space that wasn't designed for them, then this book, I think, can help you. So that was why I wrote it, and how I was able to finally be okay writing a book about myself. And now I can go on and write some other stories.
Awesome. Kyle.
I wanted to ask you a question. So you spoke about how this book, it can be like a guide for people who are, working in spaces that are not, built for them, or, built to help them succeed specifically. So I know for one, I'm looking forward to reading your book, because I know there are a lot of spaces that, of course, aren't engineered for people of color like ourselves. Yeah. So I want to say I'm thankful that you've written this, because I know tons of Black women in the professional field that is not catering to them in the proper way that respects them. So I'm definitely going to recommend this book to a few of my friends, because if that's what you're talking about, then it needs to be heard.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah, definitely. Kim, you're like a trailblazer and a pioneer in so many ways. Could you just touch on like some of the early things, how you persevered through and have been so resilient?
So, once I decided, so when I first went to college, my major was petroleum engineering, right? Because I was a really good student and really good in math and science, and that's what you should be, and you go make a bunch of money. Yeah. So I had lots of offers, academically as well. And I went to Texas A&M, and I was going to be a petroleum engineer. And I went through the first semester, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this. These people are going to be strange. Nothing against engineers. Some of my best friends are engineers, right? Yeah. So I called my parents and I said, I really don't want to be an engineer. I really do. I was always interested in journalism. It was law and politics, and it was sports journalism. And so my parents said, okay, well, if you're willing to do the work and do what it takes, we support that. Just remember, you live within your budget, your means, and we live within ours. And they're basically telling me, because you're going to be broke. And so you're not going to be able to still have all the things that you like. But anyway, so I knew that's what I wanted to do. And so I set out to learn as much as I could, really long internships. I wanted to know how a product went from conception to air, so I could understand it and know that this is really what I did want to do. Okay. And so I did that. Kyle, we're the same kind of age where your parents told you, if you go to school and get an education and work hard, you can do it. That's right. It's a whole lot more to it than that. Yes. But I worked with that in mind. I always wanted to be prepared and qualified and do all the things I could to give myself the best shot to be successful. And so early on, I didn't really think about it. Here are the logistics. I wanted to work in television. I was going to have to go to a smaller market. I grew up in Houston. I worked at the station in Bryan, College Station, when I was in college. But when I came back, I graduated. I needed to go to a smaller market. Well, most small markets have 2 people in their sports department. And the chances of that news director making one of those 2 people me was really slim to none. Right. Because it was different. I wasn't what they were used to. And it wasn't a conspiracy. It just wasn't what was happening back then. So I went to print, because I thought if I write for newspapers, it's going to give me credibility as a journalist. And I think it did that. Also, I did some early talk radio. I met Ralph Cooper early in my career, and I was writing for a weekly newspaper, and I was also doing some writing for the Houston Post. I'm dating myself, but I did write for the Houston Post.
Wow,
And
Houston Post. That's a long time.
A long time ago. I was 12, y'all. If you know, I was 12. And I covered the Oilers, and I would go on the road with the team. I covered the team on the road.
Wow.
So I would call in to Ralph's show on Friday so that Sports Rap, would have a presence on the road. So I did things with Ralph. Butch Woolfolk, if you remember him, he and I did a weekly Houston Oilers show on the station. And over the years, I just found ways to do this thing I wanted to do, like worked all the time, had lots of jobs. And so I felt like, how is somebody going to just tell me no? You can't tell me no, I'm going to do this. And so I just kept pushing. And I was initially, it was kind of, I was stubborn in that regard. Like, how can you tell me no when I know I'm qualified, when I'm working hard, when I'm willing to learn, I stay late, I come early, tell me again why I can't do this? And that was my attitude.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it worked for a while.
And it's still working. I love it, man. Think about it. And we just celebrated Women in Sports Day just recently, right?
Right, July 7th.
Should be a whole month of that, really. But Kim, you went through a lot of trials and tribulations, but to think that you were covering the Houston Oilers on a regular basis, traveling with the team as a Black woman in this business is just phenomenal.
Yeah, it was. I didn't really think of it back then as that. It was like, oh, so I need to go on the road because they have games and I need to be where everybody is. And and Kyle, I still kind of approach what I do that way. I'm going to go to Texans training camp, when they go to West Virginia, because I feel like you just got to be in the room or on the field or on the sidelines to really get a taste of what's happening a lot of places. And that was always my approach. And so that's really what I've tried to do. Listen, I covered the 2 Houston Rockets championships.
Wow.
Hopefully I'll get to cover another one, but I was in Madison Square Garden for Game 6, Rockets and the Knicks in the finals when there was the OJ slow chase. And we were all in the media room huddled around because there were no flat screen TVs on the wall. We were huddled around this television watching this split screen because back then, like, no, we're gonna play. The
game was
on.
Yeah,
and I think that was back when Dallas was still on. But anyway, so you had the game on, and then you had the chase, and we were like, "Wow, this is so." Like, I remember those things. That was all a part of the journey of my career. But I covered some championships, and I'm hoping to cover some future Rocket championships.
Yeah, well, Texans they want to have a part in the championship as well with Mr. CJ Stroud, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's just something that is historic. You're being able to cover and be there and do it in such a great fashion for everybody. Talk about some of the influential people who help you along the way. You mentioned Ralph Cooper, which Ralph helped me as well.
Yeah.
So, and he's helped so many other people. Talk about the other people that really were important in your journey.
So, I got a chance to do some work with BET Sports back when BET Sports was when BET was really a news network, right?
Okay.
And we had this show called the Budweiser Sports Report. It preceded sports reporters on ESPN. So they would fly me up from Houston for that show. And I worked with Mike Wilbon and Bill Roden and Thomas George and Brian Burwell, who's deceased now, and just a number of what I call giants in the business. And that's how I got to have relationships with those guys. And I learned a lot from them. And so I learned from them. I was super excited and fortunate to be able to be in the room with them. But Kyle, back then when we would go to NABJ, it was very different. Or we would cover a Final Four, we would always get together, the group of us, not just us, but Black sports reporters and producers and production people, and have kind of our little own kind of informal powwows. And sometimes, I remember sitting in a room with George Ravlin and John Chaney and just talking about history and stuff they dealt with. And of course, Arthur Ashe, who I knew because I played tennis and he used to come to Houston. But those were the people that we got a chance to spend time with. And they didn't show up as celebrities or stars. We were all in this thing like learning from each other. And so I got a chance to soak up a lot of that knowledge. And I knew it was cool then, but later, especially when I reflect on it now, how incredible that was.
That
to be
was.
able to sit at the feet of some of those people. And for somebody now like a Bill Rhoden or a Mike Wilbon to call me a friend and a colleague, because I think they're giants in the industry. So I had a chance to learn from some of them. And I don't know if you remember Max Edison, if you knew Max at all. Max used to write for The Defender, but Max and I hosted a show called Sports Timeout. It was a live daily sports talk show, 2 hours. And
for 2 hours. Wow.
For 2 hours, Monday through Friday, from 4 to 5, 4 to 6. And so Tony Wiley used to always joke and say, you guys were his and hers before there was a his and hers, And so I remember working with Max, and he unfortunately passed away right before the pandemic in 2019. And he was really like a brother, and so Max and I, and just different people in the business. I'm going to tell you this, and I don't even know if I put it in the book, but prior to D'Amico Ryans, because I can say he is my favorite NFL coach. But prior to him, my favorite coach in the NFL was Buddy Ryan, because I got a chance to work with Buddy Ryan when he was a defensive coordinator for the Oilers. And back then, we sit around at the practice and we talk about sports, and we talk about a lot of things because there was no social media. It wasn't going anywhere. And you just get to learn from these people who knew so much. Buddy Ryan used to send me Christmas cards every year.
Really?
So I knew so much, and we lost touch. But, like those kind of memories, or when George Foreman was making his comeback and I did this takeout piece for the Post, and I got a chance to hang out with him for a couple of days and his trainer.
Wow.
Just the people that are just historic, and many who've passed on. George Sifford, the golfer, Charlie Sifford, rather, who's
wow.
Yeah, just to be able to sit with them and have conversations was just amazing. Those are the kind of things that have really made a difference in my career.
Guys, we are here with Kim Davis, author, but sports reporter, journalist / everything. She's tremendous. She does her job very, very well. And Kim, I did not know you had the sports report, like you said, for 2 hours long. I'm like, where was I? How did I miss that here in Houston?
This was before. When did you come to Houston?
89.
Okay, so you would have been here.
Yeah, but I was working 90s. A lot. So.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So yeah, as a recruiter, so I did miss a lot of TV. Trust me. But Kyle, just listening to Kim, what are your thoughts? How do you feel?
The more as I was listening, and as you spoke, and I'm hearing these stories and I'm hearing these names, and I'm like, the one, of course, that rings true with me is Ralph Cooper, because we all know and love Ralph.
Yeah.
We love him to death. and he's put each one of us on in some way, shape, or form. And as you're telling your stories, and you're talking about how when the Oilers were on the road, you went to every game. I was like, the dedication is the biggest. That was the word that came to mind. Dedication. It's the biggest thing to me. You're so dedicated to your craft and your art, and it's inspiring for me as an artist myself. It's very rare, very inspiring, and it's very rare to find somebody who's that dedicated to their art in the process of evolving and growing while learning from others. Like, you don't have an ego. You are so humble, and that is something, I think that's the biggest thing I should take away. The ability to be that humble with with strong gift inside of you. Like, that's insane.
Thank
that's
you.
So, like, yeah, but truly, thank you more than anything for talking to me at that Rice game. I think that was the first time we met.
That's the first time we met. It was freezing in there too.
cold
yeah, it was
as
a
all get
mark. It was a mark in there.
It was freezing. TSU was not their finest hour.
No,
And it
but
was
the
a long
band
day.
was fantastic. Were they not? The band sounded great that day.
Coach Dishman
That's the
reminded
one
us of that.
takeaway, right, Kyle?
That was
Hey,
a
he was
takeaway.
very excited. He said the band sounded great. I don't know about no team, but the band was fantastic.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Coach Dishman said that, right?
He said that. He said, "Hey, listen,
He
the
sure
band
did.
was outstanding."
Us,
That funny
yeah,
game.
not so much.
Oh
So,
man.
yeah. Well, look, let's look at a couple of things here. I wanted to just bring this up. Let's see if I can add that. Okay. Now, this is one that caught my eye. One of the things in your book, you say, understanding the language of sports, finding your voice, and showing up even when the odds aren't in your favor. Talk about that.
So I think the sports is so much more than just what we see on a field or a court, right? I think it is, it gives us so many tools and, discipline, commitment, knowing how to, knowing how to fight the right way, all of those things you get from it. But when you understand it, there's also a language to it, right? There's a language of sports. And so the people that consider themselves experts or, it's because they know how to speak the language. And really years ago, that's why I started Chalk Talk, to help women understand the language of sports.
Okay.
Right. It was really because all those the years that Max and I did this call-in radio show, we would have a fair amount of women to call in because they knew that there was at least one person, and Max was good too, but who would have a conversation with them and not make them feel like you don't belong here. So I felt after that, like, you know what? Because as a woman, I know that we learn differently. We process information differently. So let me help them understand the language of sports, and they can use that in different places. It can help them to find their voice and where they should show up, and how to use some of those things we see from athletes and coaches in this vast world of sports, how they use those things to propel themselves to the next level. Anybody can use it, but understanding how to take that language, the stuff that we talk about, the stuff that you hear coaches and players say, and use that to find your own voice and make your own way, even when it's not in your favor. Because how many players do we know that things aren't in their favor? And Kyle and both of you, how many times can we say that, you know what? These professional athletes or these collegiate athletes, they're talented, they're great, but I know some guys who had this much talent or more, they just didn't make it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of times. Okay. When you spent your career challenging and the status quo, you don't wait for validation. I like that. You become the standard. Don't wait for validation. A lot of times I think somebody and a lot of young people, especially once they want to get into media, I've heard they want to be on ESPN, or they want to be in front of the camera and all this other stuff. But you said something that was key. You had to figure out a way to get the validation or the credibility. So you didn't go the traditional routes all the time.
Yeah.
You found a way to be able to get your voice out there through print, through writing as well. Talk about that.
Yeah, you just can't wait for somebody else to say, okay, Kim, now we approve. Because what if nobody ever does that? Right? So you have to become your own standard. But what that also means is you've got to put in the work. Like Kyle said, you've got to really be good at your craft. The biggest thing I tell young people and say, hey, would you tell me if I'm trying to be in the business? And I said, I would say, know your craft. Always work at it. I still work at it, right? Always work at it. Pursue excellence, not perfection, but pursue excellence in your craft. If you want to be a reporter, be a really good storyteller and a writer. Learn how to produce, know how to make it work, and know how to work with the people that help you get what you're getting done. If you're working in television, be the reporter that's going to help the photographer carry his or her equipment. right? Don't be the star. Don't have the star mentality.
Yeah.
And so you become the standard and you don't have to wait for validation. People are going to want to work with you and are going to want to have your product and have you around because you become the standard and you're not waiting for them and you're not waiting for the numbers on social media that say you're great. That's the other thing. I didn't have social media in my career earlier, but I run into that now and people want to put you in a box that you're not quite worthy enough because you don't have enough followers.
Yeah, it's so funny you said that. There was an athlete that HBCU reporters covered diligently for the past 3 years. And now they're going to Division I. And I asked their representatives, hey, can I just have a final interview with their transition and talk about it with them? Well, we're really looking for national profiles. We really want someone on ESPN or a higher level to be able to talk with. I was like, you're not understanding you're doing the same type of discrimination that you fought against before, and you're doing it to us who really was there for you. I was just blown away. I couldn't understand that. But the thing is, guys, don't wait. If you know you're putting out great content, you're trying to refine your craft or learn your craft, just keep working on it. I ran into a lot of roadblocks. I ran into a whole lot of roadblocks, but I never let it deter me. Never let it stop me. You got to be a little stubborn, right?
Well, and you know what, Kyle? You also have to know that there's value in what you do.
That's right.
And the audiences you share with, those audiences matter. And there's value with those audiences. And they deserve the kind of content that you're going to give them, that we're going to give them. And if people realize, you know what, especially now with the internet and with streaming, if they do an interview with you and it runs on your platform first, then they can run it someplace later. That doesn't really matter. That's just because you're not willing to put in any other work.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah. Exactly. I agree. Kyle?
Well, I mean, I agree. Perception let me change that actually. Perspective is everything, actually. Especially from the social media perspective of things. For me, I'm younger. I dabble in journalism. I'm getting deeper. And I do mainly, performance content. So when I'm looking on my TikTok and I'm like, man, my post is not blowing up and it's about my articles. And then I post something silly and it's blowing up. I'm aggravated. And I'm like, I know my work had merit though. And and I'm happy you touched on that, because if you don't have value in your own work, how are other people going to value it? If you don't value yourself, how can we value you? And that's really important. So I'm happy you touched on that and making sure you stay encouraged while working through the avenues of social media and traditional journalism.
I think that's so smart. And, every social media platform has its own personality, right? They perform for certain audiences and they differ. Now there's some similarities with Instagram and TikTok, but there's still some differences. So where you put your information, it performs certain ways based on what the content is. And, but if you're telling good stories, and the problem now is so many people are caught up in the numbers and they discount you when you don't have the great numbers, right?
Yeah, the quality of the work is being overlooked sometimes. They're looking for the entertainment value.
Right. And they're really looking, when you talk about followers, they really are followers. They follow who people follow. It's not always based on even the entertainment value, Kyle. I think it's, oh, well, this person's got a lot of followers. They must be doing something spectacular.
Right.
Follow as well. And they don't stop to really evaluate what is the content, what's the context, can I get anything from this? And maybe I can't, but I'm not going to discount it because it doesn't have a lot of followers. But that is unfortunately where we are now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so we just keep plugging away, man. The people that need to see it'll see it.
Exactly.
Okay. And finally, toward the end of your book, you have these little sayings, right? Running the play has never been about getting everything right. Speak on that.
Just because you show up and you do the work, it doesn't mean that you get it all right all the time. I mean, I did a lot of things, and if I were to look now, I'm like, man, I probably should have done that differently. But it's okay. But it's about you gotta run the play. It's like when they're on the field and the offensive coordinator has sent in a play and CJ Stroud is standing there under center, and then he's got to call an audible. He's just gotta run the play. He can't wait too long trying to get it right because, well, a few things happen. You get sacked, you turn the ball over. I mean, a lot of bad things happen when you kind of wait, right? So you've got to just go through with the play and know that what you see matters. Your voice matters. Your vision matters, and run the play. It won't be the last play. It may not be the greatest play. It could be, but there'll be other plays, but you got to just run it.
Right. Your vision matters, your voice matters, and this moment, it's yours. I was like, okay, I'm starting to, I felt it, and I understand where you're coming from. But when you say you've already started, a lot of you guys out there have already started your journey.
Yeah.
And I think in this part of life, sometimes you just don't know if this is the right thing you're doing, or you get hit left and right and you go through some ups and downs, but that's the ebbs and flows of life as well. If you feel passionately, if you think you have the voice and you have the talent, just keep going through, because sometimes when you go through the storm, it's better to be able to say, hey guys, I went through this storm. I'm a testimony, and you can be able to go through it too. Just like Kim. Think of all the things you've gone through, Kim, and where you are today. Yeah. You're such an inspiration to so many people.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. I try to, just do the work and to enjoy it. I mean, if I didn't enjoy it, if I didn't think my voice mattered, that's the other thing. Our voices all matter. Our perspectives matter. And we need to be in the room.
Yeah.
And because other people need to hear these different stories from these different perspectives and with these different voices. And I feel really strongly about that. And so if this is something that you like, and whether if your thing is media, or maybe your thing is you're in the tech space and, they're not super friendly to Black women for sure, not even Black men, but you like, this is my space. Well, run your play and find your space and make it work. Don't let somebody tell you what you can or can't do. Just find your way.
Definitely. All right. Any last thoughts, Kai?
I'm sorry, you cut out.
Any last thoughts?
Well, Ms. Kim, I want to say thank you again for coming on the show and, gracing us with your presence. Let me shower you with compliments one more time. But I really want to say, I didn't speak about this earlier, but when we first got on, you talked about how it was hard. The work is hard, but you kept doing it. Too often, our young people, when it gets hard, we like to quit. Social media has shown us that quitting is too easy. So I'm thankful that you are making sure to get the message out there to keep working hard. Iron sharpens iron. If you're not around the right people, what are you doing? So thank you. And I'm trying to be around you.
You're gonna make me cry. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You can't cry on the show. You got to do it when we get off.
That's right. There's no crying in baseball or in whatever this is, right?
Whatever's going on.
Interesting. Guys, if you don't see Kim, if you're here in the Houston area, you can see her a lot of times on, is it KHOU?
So KHOU Sports Extra, and occasionally on Sports Sunday on KPRC. mostly on Sports Extra, and then sometimes on Fox in the mornings
with Nate Griffin.
With Nate, and I've got to catch up with Isaiah soon, so he won't start saying I'm acting funny. You know, when I don't go for a while, you know, you acting funny. So. Yeah,
Isaiah. I think his producer said, "Mr. Mosley, you haven't been on in a long time."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I haven't. But I tell you, those are great names. Nate Griffin, Isaiah Carey, guys. Get to know who those young men are. They mean a lot to us because they help with the whole process. And I think we all help one another out. Ralph Cooper, 56 years now in broadcasting. Think about that. 56 years. And I think Cooper is one of the 6 or 7 men, black males, who have their own radio show in this country. And he's been doing it.
And that's the thing. There's not a lot. There's not a lot of spaces. Ralph is, talk about a trailblazer. Ralph is that. And Ralph is going to do it his way, but Ralph has always tried to create opportunities for other people. That's just who he is. Yeah, definitely. And I can always tell people I appreciate the first time I met him at one of the Texas Southern games, and we just hit it off, and he took me under his wing ever since. And I appreciate him just giving me the opportunity to have a voice out there, to be able to share my different perspectives on sports as well. All right, Kim, tell everybody how they can follow you on the World Wide Web. So you can follow me on, let's see, if you're on Facebook or Instagram, it's Kim Y. Davis Media. There's also just Kim Davis on Facebook. On X, I think that's what it's called. I still call it Twitter. It's Kim Y. Davis. And on LinkedIn, I'm Kim Davis. Or is it Kim Y. Davis? Maybe Kim Y. And the reason that I use Kim Y. Davis a lot of places is because Kim Davis is a really common name, even though I'm not common, my name is. So I use my middle initial. So you can find me most places at Kim Y. Davis or Kim Y. Davis Media.
Yeah, I think Kyle, he likes to just say Kyle Anthony. That's his call.
That's my moniker, I guess.
I like that, Kyle Anthony.
Yeah,
it's got a little flow to it.
Got a little ring to it. I like that. With the Who Dat Sports podcast.
You guys, man. I tell you what. If you guys don't know, Kim is with us during the fall when we have the Black Sports Insiders. She's going to be still with us whenever we can catch her, because she also reports on the Rockets around that time as well.
But so starting early, though, they won't be in season. So definitely starting off early.
Okay, cool.
And so this year with having Kevin Durant, I'll be there, but I'm going to make time for my BSI people.
All right, cool. We need you. And guys, go get a book. Kim, how can they get the book?
So you can get it on Amazon. I've had some people say, I don't really do Amazon. Well, you can reach me on my website. I've got to find a way to put it there, but I also have books. And listen, if you want to have like an event, a book signing event, or if you've got a group of people and you want me to come out and we can talk about the book, invite me out. Let's do it. You can get the book that way. So Amazon is one way, or I found that the in-person events are kind of cool. Now the one you came to, Kyle, it was a launch. I didn't really get to do talk about the book and take questions. I was so overwhelmed with just the fact that so many people showed up. It was amazing. I'm still really, really grateful. But I do want to do some other signing events where I can have conversations like this with people. So if you want to do that, you can hit me up on my website or Kim at KimYDavis.com. Super easy to find. And let's do something fun.
Definitely. And if you guys need some help, if you're a coach or if you're a young media professional, or if you're just aspiring to get into media, Kim listens, and she also coaches, and it's a consultancy. So help her out there, guys. It's not just everything's for free. So hit her up.
But I will have an initial conversation with people. Like, if you just want to talk, hit me up, right? And let's maybe there's something you just want to know, and I can spend a few minutes doing that. I do that with people from all around the country, and I'm happy to do that as well.
Great, great. Now, I did want to go back to the BET. You
Yeah.
were hanging out with was Curtis Simons responsible for?
Yes, it says Curtis Simons, and then there's a Curtis Kurt Simmons. So I knew Kurt Simmons was the one. I knew them both. They were both there, and they both had roles.
Really?
I also worked with them both when Willie Gary had his network.
Okay.
It was MBC Sports. And we used to do. This was after BET kind of went off the reservation, and they had a lot of the black college games, and do you have a cool pair of glasses on the back cover of your book as a souvenir? Well, Sam is a good friend of mine, one of my church friends.
She just has writing on the back of the book, Sam.
Yeah, it's just writing. I don't have any glasses. I missed that, but I maybe on the second edition I'll put some glasses on the back of the book.
So what I'm hearing is the second edition is confirmed.
We're breaking news.
We just heard this
right
live.
here.
No, I did say that. Maybe I meant the next book or something, but I am writing another book, so there will be that. But I'm also launching a T-shirt line, and they're going to have glasses on it. So
okay,
there'll be glasses on the T-shirts. That's what we'll do.
Now, if you don't know, man, Kim can bedazzle a drinking cup as well, man. So she does that very well.
I bought it that way, so I can't claim that's not my gift. Yeah, my gift is telling stories, and my gift is cooking. My gift is not that kind of artistry, but I can find it.
Excellent. All right, Kyle, tell everybody how they can find you on social media, man.
Oh, well, I was about to tell them how they could find me in person. Hey, I'm gonna drop that. I'm kidding. I won't drop my address.
Go ahead.
No. My mom will be very upset. I can't do that. All right. So if you want to locate me on Instagram, you can find me at Kyle Anthony Mosley. And then on X, formerly known as Twitter, you can find me at Mosley Kyle A. And then on TikTok, it's just Kyle A. Mosley. Kyle Anthony was not available, sadly. It was already taken. So, yeah. But you can find me on all of those platforms with those usernames.
Yeah. Kyle's a great photographer, videographer as well. And he is great at writing. He surprises his father all the time when he comes up with some new culture specific type of articles for HBCU legends, but he also does some sports writing as well. So good work, son.
Hey, thank you, Captain.
All right. Kim, thank you always, and continued success. I love the book. Can't wait to finish, but also let us know anything else we could be able to do to help you guys out. Guys, go get the book. I'm telling you.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me. I love it. Y'all my favorites.
Yeah,
gotta see you soon, both of you.
Would not be disappointed. This is a great book. All right, I'm Kyle T. Mosley with Kyle Anthony Mosley, as well as Kim Y. Davis here at HBCU Legends, as well as the Black Sports Insiders. You guys can follow us at HBCU Legends on all social media platforms, as well as you can follow me on all social media platforms at KTMOZE. And hey, let's have a great one. We're going to have some good conversations coming up this weekend as well. Hopefully we'll have some surprises for you. So have a great weekend. Be safe and stay out of trouble, guys. Take care.
All right. Peace.
Thank you. How are you going to build your staff as well as your team in Tennessee State?
Yeah, tennis over here. Obviously, we like having coaches who've worked together before. Obviously, Coach Keiss and Coach Shannon Harris. Those guys have been with us before. Greg Williams, who's an all-time NFL coach and defensive coordinator, who's done a great job wherever he's gone. The coach 2 Super Bowls. So it's a mixture of having guys who've worked together. We like to have an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator, obviously, but we still like to have a guy in that assistant role that also has been an offensive defensive coordinator at some point in their career. So we try to build like that. We try to sprinkle in a little young guy or two to give them that experience, so we can pay it forward. So we try and do that as well. And that's what we'll do here. Greg Williams will be here with us at
Wow.
State. So he was the defensive coordinator here in Nashville for the Tennessee Titans. And we play in that same stadium. And he's coming. I mean, he
knows how to bring it.
Yeah.
Look, you don't have to tell me about Greg Williams because I also covered the Saints and I'm a New Orleans native. So I loved everything that Greg Williams was able to do to bring a Super Bowl championship to New Orleans, man. So I know Coach Williams is going to bring it. So that's great to have him a part of your program.
Today, we wanted to highlight a specific bill because here with us today, we have a very special advocate for Senate Bill 111, Michael Kidd Gilchrist. He used the power of his own story, which takes a real vulnerability to stand up for others and to ultimately ensure that they can get all the services they need.
I just want to thank you guys for just being heard at this magnitude, you know? I'm not just a national champion here anymore, you know? It's like I'm a person who made a real impact in the state. So I want to thank you guys, man, for the opportunity.
Senate Bill 111 requires insurance to cover the cost of speech therapy as a treatment for stuttering. Speech therapy can make a world of difference, and now everyone is going to be able to have that coverage.
I hope everybody knows we are another state that is now making sure that private insurers are covering these services for folks who have stuttered.
Michael has come off on fire already. He came to Chicago, took it by storm, using his voice, using his experience, using his resources to bring attention to this very solvable issue. So I'm completely grateful. I'm extremely excited. We've just attended some schools in my district. We've met with children, younger children, maybe 4 and 5 years old, who suffer from stuttering, all the way up to high school students who haven't gotten the proper therapy that they could benefit from. And so with him coming, bringing attention to this issue of stuttering and how we can actually address it and improve the quality of life for those who stutter. I mean, I am just in awe and grateful. He's had a huge impact. And I don't even know how much we're gonna do because we're just getting started. So I appreciate him so much.
An old rivalry, Morehouse College hosting Howard University. There's Spike Lee and John Singleton, the film directors, acting as honorary captains for this game. This was a defensive struggle, and boy, there was some hitting going on. Morehouse College, disadvantaged by size, but they make up for it with great gang tackling as they contain Howard University early. The hit of the day was by number 41, Michael Davis of the Tigers. He'll go toe-to-toe with a Howard running back, Rupert Grant. He nails him and knocks that helmet off. The only score of the ball game came in the first quarter as Eric Johnson hit Jarris Middlebrooks in the end zone. Tigers a 7-0 lead. The catch was a bit questionable, but the referees liked it. And in the second half, the teams were plagued by a driving rain. They managed to finish this one, though, and walk away with soggy shoes. By the way, Spike Lee says he'll replace the Tigers' soggy shoes.
All right, HBCU Legends fans, it's Coyote Mosley here once again, bringing you one of the more iconic sports figures as well as head coaches in our day. This guy has gone to a Celebration Bowl, but a lot of people don't know he's also been a Division I FBS coach, and he has a winning record. We're going to talk about that as well. But the Howard Bison, I know they usually give my Morehouse College guys a lot of flack, and the only time we can say we can beat them is on the basketball court, but on the football gridiron, Coach Scott, you guys take it every time, but it's all in good fun. How you doing, Coach Scott?
I'm doing well. How you doing today?
Good, man. It's good to see you again. Last time I had a chance to speak with you was over at the HBCU game, Legacy Bowl game with Doug Williams. But Coach, last year you guys had I wouldn't say the type of year you wanted to follow up on the Celebration Bowl, but this year you guys got a lot of exciting outings that you're going to be a part of, like the Orange Blossom Classic, the New York City HBCU Classic as well. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on what's to expect for the Bison in 2025.
Yeah, I think one thing you can expect, as you said, we come out of the Celebration Bowl. We're excited about what we have built and the direction that we're going, and to reach a couple of hurdles last year, which we found ourselves in a couple of games where some of our youth and some of our immaturity in certain spots will show up in critical situations and cost us some games in which we were all in and had opportunities to turn the tide and win those games, and just didn't have the ability to do it. It was kind of a reset year for us of teaching some young guys that have been put into some critical roles on how to win and what it takes to win, and the focus and the attention to detail and the level of want to that you have to be a champion, and understand when you are a champion that there's always a target on your back, and that every week you got to go out and be the best version of who you are, the best player you can be, and the attention that comes with that, the attention to detail, the focus that you have to be able to do that. So it was kind of one of those years where we kind of had to get over those hurdles and teach and reteach young, talented players what that's all about. And so you got a group that's returning that had that experience now. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster, they're smarter, they're tougher, they're more disciplined. And with the offseason these guys have gone through from January to now, they're more together. And so I think you got a team that's hungry. They've learned from their mistakes. They've learned from the critical errors. They've corrected those errors. And they've pushed each other and brought others along with them as we've added new faces and other young players to the program. They've helped indoctrinate those young guys to what the culture is here that we've built here at Howard, and how important that everybody be locked in and focused on what it is that we're trying to accomplish. And so you'll have a hungry team that don't like the taste of what they tasted last year. And I'm going to go out and have a focus, week in and week out to really show who we are and what we've built here. So I think you got a young, hungry, poised, more focused team than what you saw last year.
All right. Well, that's great. But you lose some great veterans especially on the defensive side with Kenny Gallup Jr., Robert Jones, as well as young Xavier as well, right? Yeah. And I had a chance to speak to Noah Miles earlier a few weeks ago, and he gave me some insight to what to expect with Bison as well. Very impressive young man there with all the sacks that he had last year. When he was telling me about you as a coach, he said, you got to love Coach, because Coach Scott gives you the opportunity to be yourself, but he also disciplines you well when you're not focused.
I think that's key, right? I mean, we got 105 young men on this football team. And I don't want 105 people that are exactly the same. I think that's boring. I think that's still, and I think when you have an opportunity to work with young people, man, you want them to always be able to individualize, express themselves, who they are, their background, their experiences, what they've seen, where they come from, and unite every one of those guys under, our guys, under our core values, under the discipline structure that we have in place, but allowing them to figure it out and be comfortable in their shoes and being the person that they are. But bound by certain principles that bring us together. So at the end of the day, I truly love that each one of them are individually who they are. It makes coming to work fun every day to interact with all the different personalities and who these guys are. One conversation is different from the other guy and what's going on with him. And I have a full now since COVID. This is the first time that every young man that's in the program was, hand selected and recruited and sat in the living rooms and know their parents and all those things for the first time.
Wow.
Every one of these guys, came in under the guise of how we do things, which is based around family, which is based around relationship, which is getting to know their parents and getting to know them. And the individual Mondays that we sit down with them and we just talk life. We don't talk football on Mondays. Mondays is kind of a mental health check-in, academic check-in for us. And so now you're truly getting to see how all those relationships and those experiences that we had has intertwined into our program, into the fabric of who we are. So I think we're excited about this football team. We're excited about where we are now, because this is truly ours. Every young man that was already in this program, we made ours. We adopted and made them who we are, a part of who we are, and love them, and they'll forever be a part of everything that we built here in this program. But now we have it to where these are the guys that from the very first inception into the program, everyone in every class, they've all been picked and selected by us. So just excited about each and every one of these young men, where they come from, what they've been through, some of the trials and tribulations and things they've had to go through in their life before Howard, and things they've gone through while at Howard, and to see that all come together and what we're doing right now from January, where we are right now, it's been really special. And it's been fun. It's been a fun ride this offseason. It's been hard. It's been disciplined. It's been a lot of hard work. It's been, it ain't all been roses and rainbows. So it's been some tough times. But where we are right now, I think it's gonna show, and it's gonna propel us to the type of season we want to have this year.
Wow. So you got your fingerprints on this whole class, and that's important. But that's a credit to you to think about when you came in 2020. I know that was a COVID time, right? Mm-hmm. But also to be able to have your team to be first place twice, one time going to the Celebration Bowl, and I think you guys tied with NCCU one year, right?
Yeah.
To think what you have been able to do with those teams, with guys that you weren't totally yours, that's a great testament to you as well as your staff.
Yeah, and a testament to those young men, for buying in. They wanted to be coached. They wanted to have a level of success that they hadn't had and wasn't having here. So they weren't having exactly the type of experience they wanted to have at Howard. They've been through a lot. At that time, for some of them, I was their third head coach in a 3 or 4 year span. So it was tough times for a lot of those young men. Sort of bring some stability to the program, which we've kept a nucleus of our coaching staff here and the things that we've done. And we don't deviate from what we do. We just find ways to do it better.
Right.
Which means, we still hold to our same principles and things like that. So it was a testament to those young men that wanted something different. They bought into something fresh. They worked hard. They bought into the work. They led when we needed to lead, since they still were some of the older statesmen and OGs in the program. They had to step up and still find ways of leading, and did that. And so it's a testament to them to help us turn the tide and set the foundation of what we want to have building forward. So those guys are still very much cemented into the history of what they've done here and what they were able to accomplish by buying in. So every one of those young men are special, will be always a part of the story. And that led us to putting these young people now that are in the program in position to carry that on and trumpet and do better and sustain that, and not be this 1 year, 2 year. We had 2 years a row of finishing first place, either tied, and then also the level of consistency was starting to be where we wanted it to be. And we had a little bit of a dip, and now it's time to get it back to where we want it. But not only get it back where we want it, the object is to keep it there.
Yeah. Well, this season, and I know you guys are going to have the MEAC Media Day coming up next week. You have a lot of, I would say, big name stars in the coaching ranks coming your way with guys coming from the NFL, Michael Vick, as well as Deshaun Jackson. But look at what you, Coach Oliver, Coach Berry, Coach Wilson have been able to do as well. That the MEAC is fielding some really, really good talent at the head coaching spot. Talk about the challenges going against those guys to be able to win the conference championship this season.
I'll tell you, when I first got here, and I'm going to some of the meetings, and you hear the guys talk about how tough in conference play is, and your first year you go, wow, I think we go over, or win one in conference, and then after that we kind of turn the tide a little bit. But they're right, week in and week out, this is a tough conference to play in. It's tough places to go and play. Some really good and well-coached teams. Coach Oliver and the level of success they've had down in Central. I've always watched Coach Berry and his track and what he's done and the places that he's been, and his level of success just kept going, taking off, and he's in the right place for him. And as far as what the makeup is and where he's from and how he's built, so they're going to always field tough teams. Coach Wilson is one of the best in the game. I mean, I think been always kind of understated because he's not a guy that's looking for all the lights and the glamour and this and that. He just works hard and goes to work and put really good products and football teams together on the field all the time. So, I mean, those guys have been, doing this and doing it for a long time. And they're the same type of people that helped develop a Mike Vick when Mike Vick was a high school player. right, when he was a college player. Deshaun Jackson, when he was a high school player and a college player. Those same type of men that develop them are the men that are Coach Barry, the men that are Coach Wilson. So, it's a testament to who all of us are in the mix that we come from. And then obviously Deshaun and Michael were great, players at all levels, high school, college, and pro. They're players that even I, probably being the youngest of all of those coaches, grew up watching and probably the most closest to an age to watch play and those type of things. Even when I was, starting my early coaching career, those guys were pros. And so watching them with our players. And so it's fun to also kind of bring that all together and see them want to give back, to a sport and to young, and get back into and pour into young men like somebody did to them. So it's a testament to the type of people that they are, the men that they are. Not only great players, but, to take on, the awesome responsibility that we have to be called coach. And want to do that and do it in the places that they're doing is a testament to who they are as people. So I'm truly excited about, being around those men, being in the same room. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all competitive. I want to kick their tails every time we get ready to line up and play, and no doubt about that. But we all have the same job. We're all doing the same things for the same reason, and that's to help young men and young people be successful and make an impact while we have an opportunity to. So kudos to them, and I commend them for wanting to step into these things, step into this position and do those things. When we line up, I want to kick their butts, but I'm very excited about being in the mix with this group of men in the MEAC as we all chase, obviously, championships and chase graduation, but as we all chase, helping young people be better.
Yeah, definitely. It should be very exciting. You guys are going to be at M&T Stadium. The NFL has bought in as well to be able to showcase HBCU talent as well as what's going on with Vic and Jackson. But let's talk about your crew going into this season. You have a great season opener at the Orange Blossom Classic against none other than Florida A&M out of the SWAC, but previously in the MEAC. Talk about how that matchup going against Coach Cozy and his Rattlers are going to take you guys down into Florida. I guess it's going to be at Hard Rock Stadium, right? So that's going to be a really good one to open the season.
Yeah, you talk about coaches like Coach Jackson and Coach Vic. I mean, Coach Cozy, I grew up watching the Charlie Ward era, right, of Florida State football. And James Cozy was a big key to that on that back end. So if you don't know who James Cozy is, what type of football fan and student of the game were you? So he was just like one of those elite, flashy players, was fast, and played with a swagger and all those type of things. So I expect this Florida A&M team to match that swagger. I think obviously they're a team that's in the state of Florida, so they're going to be built around speed and swagger and those type of things. And a lot of what we're trying to, the things of the makeup we're trying to build here, obviously with being our academic acumen, but I think you're going to get a really good football game. I think you're going to get two teams that have come familiar with each other. I think they're going to always be a team that's at the top of the SWAC conversation as far as being in the mix for winning that conference, and we want to be a team that's always in the mix of on the other side of it. So I think when you get a chance to always play at the top of the food chain of both conferences, you get a chance to build something great. And when we're down there talking about it, I was like, how sweet would it be to open up this thing and then all of a sudden close this thing out to again in the Celebration Bowl with a rematch, and start to build that acumen between us two, because when we want to aim at the top. And they're going to always be sitting right there, I know. So I know they're going to have a really good football team. They're going to be fast. They're going to be athletic. It's going to be hot. It's going to be fun. It's going to be Miami. But two great brands clashing in a great city like Miami. That's what you want to set it up as. That's what you want to open it up as. That's the kind of excitement you want to have around college football, what you want to have around HBCU football, because the next day you got Miami, Notre Dame. So you got Florida, you got Howard and Florida A&M. You got, I think FIU's playing.
FIU's playing.
All that. So you have a lot of things going on in that city all at the same time, and to be a part of that, and be in that mix of the TV revenue and the TV exposure and all those type of things that's coming from that. That's the position you want to continue to put our program in for us at Howard. But I think that's the light that all HBCUs should continue to have an opportunity to shine.
Yeah, definitely. Look, you brought up some very good points. One, being there, having that spotlight, being on ESPN I believe, right?
Yep.
And also having you guys just to showcase the talent under your new class that you and your staff were able to recruit is going to give you guys some really pivotal, I will say, games going forward as well, because then you guys, a few weeks later, I believe you meet Morehouse at MetLife Stadium at the HBCU New York Classic.
Yeah.
And that rivalry, when I was at Morehouse, man, it was always just fun to go up to Howard because we knew we were going to lose, but just to go to Howard and just have a great time was the deal. And a couple of times you guys came down to the house as well. But do you see how Coach Mathis and his team has been able to grow? Because they played you guys pretty tough that last fourth quarter to just try to get back into the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that once that team continues to take on Coach Mathis' personality and who he is as a man, as a coach, and as a person, they're going to be really good. They're going to be competitive year in and year out. I think Morehouse has found the right guy for that job and the right place, Atlanta, with his background in Atlanta. And Morehouse, I think that was I thought that was really well done by the administration and that hire. And as I've been around him, when I had a chance to be around him last year, his personality is infectious. And obviously, it started to infect me a little bit with who he is as a person and as a man. So I know they're going to be competitive. They're going to be a better football program, a better team than they were last year. And you're right, they really poured it on, and you saw them start to believe. You saw a change in that team from the first quarter to the fourth quarter. And I really didn't follow them kind of how they did the rest of the year, but I knew that they had to have some bright moments and things that they built, that they have to build, and they had to build on. And then this offseason, I'm sure they went to work at it really hard, and coaches going to have them primed and ready to go and be a much better team and a much better program than what they've been in the past. And then when we kind of took an early look at them this summer, they're returning a lot of players. They're returning a lot of guys.
I think he likes that fact. Some of those guys are going to still be with the program, and didn't kind of walk across to Clark, Atlanta, or go elsewhere. They stayed home at Morehouse. So
that tells you a lot about him and his staff and the job that they've done with those young men. And I think that's going to help them be tremendously better. And I think we're going to have our hands full. That's for sure.
Well, good. I like to see great games, and just being a part of that Howard Morehouse rivalry has always been just fun to be a part of. But the Bison, you guys have really good talent that you talked about earlier, and I'll always like to be able to kind of spotlight the talent and have people to get to know who should we be looking out for 2025. So talk about your offensive stars and some of your defensive guys, just a couple of those guys, so people can know who they are.
Well, first, I think we can start up front. Everything for us starts up front. I'm excited about our offensive line. We've had some young guys.
Being an old offensive lineman yourself, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited about the job that we've done there and what Coach Ray has done with that group of developing some of our guys that we just needed to develop. Last year was the first time for a lot of those guys getting a chance to play and play meaningful snaps and those type of things. So the growth that they've gotten bigger, stronger, smarter, more physical, all those type of things. More technique, better with their technique and all those things. So excited about the Tim Artists of the world to now have his opportunity. Tavares Rosses of the world to have his opportunity. Xavier Ricks, who started out with us, and then last year we moved him over to defense, and then we brought him back this offseason, and really emerged and stepped in there as a left guard for us. And he's a big, strong, physical dude that's really athletic. That's going to give us a chance to be really strong and stout inside. And then, to have some of the young, long tackle bodies that, needed a chance to develop. We're at Howard. We're not going to go out there and compete with the P4s and P5s of the world that's recruiting the 6'6", 300-pound ready-made high school tackle. We're taking the young guy that's 6'4 and a half, 6'5", 6'6", but he may be 260 pounds in high school. And now those guys are 300 pounds. These guys are 295 pounds at 305 pounds. 6'5", so they've gotten bigger, stronger, and we've given them a year or two to develop, and now it's their turn, and they're really athletic, so we're excited about some of our young tackles and things like that up front. And then we added some pieces of some grad transfers, some guys that have played a little bit of college football. That's going to come in, one being from Florida A&M, the other from Towson, another guy from Wheeler University. So we got a couple young, talented guys that we've developed that's been in our program for 2 years, 3 years that we're super stoked about and excited about. And then we got a mix of older guys that are coming in that's going to join us for 1 or 2 years that have some experience. They're 21, 22 years old. They've been in the fire. They played some college football. So got a nice mix there. And for the first time, we're sitting at 18, 19 offensive linemen in the room. So we'll have depth and be able to play a lot of guys. And we're big and we're strong and we're physical and athletic and lean. And so we're excited about that group up front. You have a guy like Braylon Smith on the perimeter who's been now, he's going to be been in the program for 3 years. Made a lot of plays for us, but now he's stepped into a leadership role where he's the kind of elder statesman in the receiver room and has done a really good job adjusting to that, adapting to that, and had a really good spring, a solid, off season. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's faster. He's always been really athletic and been a playmaker. But now to have him now be at 20 years old as opposed to 18 years old, you get a different body type, you get a different player.
I like the way he tracks the ball.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he's a punt returner too, has punt return ability and those things. So we're excited, really truly excited about what he's going to give us on the perimeter. And then, we added a grad transfer from it'll come to me in a second that he's from Florida originally, but he's a 6'5", long, athletic body type that tracks the ball well too, that'll be out there on the outside. And I think we've signed probably 4 of the most talented freshman receivers in all of HBCU football. I'll be willing to roll the dice on that. And these guys are 6'2", 6'3", 6'1". They're strong, they're athletic. They're really good. And I'm excited about our tight end group. KD Mosley returning, who had a hell of a year as a true freshman. Kind of a breakout there. Nate Clark, who's probably, Nate Clark is 6'5", 245 pounds, and probably the fastest athlete on our team. Can really run, athletic, track the ball. Montrell Walker, who's another big 6'3" body tight end. So we're excited about our tight ends, and which will help, with our run game, obviously up front, because they're big, stronger, physical dudes that can run, and they can cause mismatches on the perimeter, which is really exciting. When you have a guy like the Nate and the KD that are 6'3" plus, that are all 4'6", 4'5" body speed type guys that can catch the ball too. We can cause some mismatch problems for you on the perimeter that way. And then obviously I think we'll have probably one of the more talented backfields in our conference, with Eden James returning for his senior year.
Really good back.
By the name with Travis Kearney, who played a little bit for us last year, and then we shut him down because we knew he was going to be really special, because you had a Jared Hunter and all those type of guys. I think he's due for a breakout year, and I think everybody real quickly to know who this guy is really fast. And then you still got a host of 2 other backs that will be behind him too. So we got stable backs in the backfield, and which is going to allow us to do what we do and want to do really well, which is set up a lot of our pass game and play action and those type of things to how well we run the football. So I'm excited about that. You return a guy like Jason Scroggins, who the only way you get better as a quarterback is having an opportunity to get out and compete and play. And he had his ups and downs and took his bumps and bruises and all those type of things last year, and has really learned and climbed back in the saddle right back in January, and wanted to get better from the film room to the weight room to getting bigger and stronger, and technique and throwing and all those type of things. So he's really went to work hard, and he's played a lot of games and has a lot of experience under his belt now. So I think you see a better version of him. And then we added a transfer quarterback that we're excited about, and Tyreek Starks, that's coming to us from FAU, that is going to bring us some experience, that has played a little bit and been around, and truly athletic and can really throw it. We're excited about the competition that's going to be a quarterback for us. We signed a young freshman quarterback as well out of Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama, that we're truly excited about. TJ Russell, who has some Florida background and then moved to Alabama. His father's military, so great family, really good kid, really good athlete. That truly believe that we're going to be in good hands in the future with him as he continues to develop and things like that too. So kind of excited about the offensive side of the ball. It's got a lot of nuances and couple new pieces, but where we need to be, kind of experienced and stable, we are. And that's up front and in our backfield. And then we'll be able to add the talented young playmaking experience around it to complement it. And then our tight ends, I think, are going to be guys that can make a difference in what we're doing.
All right. I like what I hear so far, Coach.
Yeah.
All right. I don't like to dismiss the defense, but just give me a couple of defensive guys, defensive leaders that we need to be keeping.
That's probably where I'm most excited. I'm most excited. We made a change on defense and coordinator and took up the staff just a little bit. I felt like our staff and our defense needed a little energy, a little jolt. And I think I got one of the brightest up-and-coming young defensive coordinators and Kashawn Jarrett that's now going to take over our defense and coordinate it and call it and run it. Our staff has a lot of energy, and the kids have responded to him really well. We're going to be really aggressive on defense. This guy played in the Bud Foster defensive system at Virginia Tech when they had all those great defenses. And, has always proven himself as a player, as a 7th-round draft pick that goes to the Commanders and becomes a starter, and then has a career-ending injury, and then, obviously found his passion back in coaching. He brings that same energy and same fervor to the young men every day. Bright in the schematics, part of it, really bright in technique and all those things. So I'm truly excited about what he's been doing with our defense in this offseason. And the excitement that's been built around, I think, is going to be a very special group. We've gotten bigger, we're fast, we're running the ball, we're physical, and we're going to have a scheme that, I think we're going to keep people on their toes and kind of wondering and guessing what we're doing and where we're coming from, when we're coming, are we coming, and all those type of things. We'll be able to match groupings and personnel groupings pretty well with our athletes because we have a diversified group of guys. And one of the ones I'm truly excited about, probably starts right in the soul of it, is our linebacker group, with Cam Dyson, who's returning and played a lot of football for us, who's a physical, long, big, athletic kid. And to complement him, you got a guy like Julian Majency, who is kind of the heart and soul of our defense and the heart and soul of our football program. The guy that, when I got here was a walk-on. That walked right into earning himself a scholarship. He's a graduate. He's done it all right here. He's 6'3" himself, 6'2.5", 6'3", 225 pounds, and can run and athletic and will strike you. And I'm excited about those guys. And the young Jaquavian Smith, who's a young guy that's going to be a sophomore now, that brought the juice and energy right away as a true freshman, and was just like, this guy's going to be special. And now he's 6'2" and he's 230 pounds and he runs like a scalded dog. So we're excited about that linebacker group. And a lot of other young guys that are just coming to the program that we walk in the weight room, we go, where do we find these guys? So I'm excited about that group, which is the pulse. And then up front, starting with Noah Miles, I think, you got a guy that's the epitome of how we want to play. His energy and the way that he plays the game and his motor is kind of spurning the rest of them, like Derek Brown and, Jason Seraphin.
Well, look, hold on. Before you go on to Jason, Noah is very charismatic. Yeah. I loved talking to him, man. And he has a great passion to him, and I could see why he was at the level he was. I think it was second team media, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. He said, ain't gonna be no second team this year. I said, okay, all right, I got you, man.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
yeah, and he's the kind of guy that's if he says it, and he says that's what he wants to do, he's the kind of guy that you look forward to watching him make it happen. Yeah, because there's behind his words come a lot of energy, and sometimes you just have to help keep him channeled. But he's showing us that in the way he's been training. He's showing us that in the way he's been doing with our PPL and player-led practices and OTAs and those type of things. He's done a really, really good job, man. And the guys around him have been forced to match his energy. And so when you get those big guys up front matching his energy,
that means a lot. Yeah,
like Jason Seraphin, who has a lot of energy himself. So they're two and they're peas in a pod. They're always together. You got a guy like Derek Brown, who we've been waiting. He's so big and strong and athletic. 6'4", is almost 300 pounds. He can play inside, outside, on an edge. He can do all the different things. And I think he's
at 6'4". Wow.
Yeah, he's kind of due for a breakout year where he's going to be a guy, one of the main forces in there that people will have to deal with and see and be able to handle in a lot of different positions, no matter what we're doing front wise. I think he's going to be a matchup issue for a lot of people. And then you got, a guy that we were really excited to bring back and get back involved and get going in the program, CJ Wesley, who when we recruited him, we thought was going to be probably a 3-year guy or somebody we don't have to worry about leaving here or whatever. And he had a little hiccup last year, but now we got him back in the program, got him going as an edge, jack, rush, pass rush specialist type of guy that I think is going to really be special. And then we had some grad transfer pieces in there too. Bryce Hall that coming to us from Penn. Keon Mitchell that's coming to us from San Diego State, who's another big, 6'3", 6'4", 290-pound body that can move and do some things. So we're going to be bigger, longer, athletic, I think more violent and more explosive up front than we've been as a collective. And I'm excited about being able to roll and play a host of guys up front, not just the same guys that can get worn down and get tired. We can roll, I believe, 7 to 8 and, maybe 9 different defensive front guys to get things done and help be impactful. So along with that defensive front, the linebackers and guys up front, I think we have a really talented young secondary. And the beautiful part about this is they've had to wait 2 years behind, some of the guys that we've had in the secondary. Xavier Rubio, they had to wait behind Robert Jones. They had to learn, develop, and wait behind players. Play a little bit, play on special teams, play sparingly. But now they're the guys that are out there. So, Kendrick Green, who had to play, behind our All-American, of 3 years and had to wait his turn. But he stayed in the program and kept getting bigger, stronger, and smarter and developed. And now he's hungry, and now it's his opportunity to step in and fill those shoes. And he knows that, filling the shoes of Kenny is going to be, a lot, but he's ready and he's smart and he's bright and he's, communicative. He's on our leadership committee. He heads our leadership committee. So he's another one of those type of guys that knows what it's all about, has paid his dues, and is ready to explode and have his opportunity. So although they're going to be young and kind of, experienced because they played a lot on teams and played a lot in games and certain packages, but now it's their turn. So this group of young guys, corner, Joseph Tabe, we're super stoked about, We got a lot of really good pieces back there that I think people are going to be kind of shocked by about how talented we are back there with speed and size and physicality and those things. So I'm excited about what our defense has and what it's going to bring, and that's going to be the fun part more than anything else for me to watch and see come along, because hey, they can't win if they can't score. So that's something that we're truly stoked about.
Well, look, it sounds like it's a great group. And I can't wait to see what you guys are going to be able to do other than when you play Morehouse. But going into the season, I know you guys have big goals and lofty visions that are out there. And of course, everybody wants to get to the Celebration Bowl, right? But if you had to just talk about that experience when you guys were able to be at the Celebration Bowl as a head coach, what were you thinking? And I hear some guys, especially when they talk from the NFL, they say, hey man, we thought we were going to get to the Super Bowl multiple times, but we only got one time. But if we had to do it all over again, we'll do this. What would it be for you guys over at Howard?
Well, I think for us, what we learned from going the first time is that the process of getting back is a process that starts right away in January, right? You have to close that door. That was great. That was awesome. And get back to the process-driven approach to getting back. And so I think this year, that's what it's been. There's been a whole lot of talk about Celebration Bowl and doing it again and going. And I'm a guy that always keeps the end in mind. I'll never change that about, you always want to move and work and keeping the end in mind. What do you want that to look like? What do you want that to be? So you have to keep that in mind as you take the day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour, month by month, week by week approach to getting to it. But you have to know what that looks like. So then you're framing it the right way on the front end, and you're approaching it the right way on the front end in your processes and how you're doing things. So I think for us, it was an experience that kind of led to guys understanding that if this is what you want and this is what you have, this taste, and don't ever lose this taste. The only taste I want you to focus on not having is defeat. Right? It's not good enough to just get there. That's a lot of people get to those moments. It's the people who are the only one that's raising that trophy at the end and standing in that confetti. All right. So keep that desire, keep that thirst, keep that hunger for wanting to understand what that is. So it's just not good enough to get there. Right. It's just like it's not good enough to win the MEAC in 1 or 2 times. You want to win it every time. And you want to get to this game and you want to win that game. So we still have a lot to learn, a lot to play for, a lot to process through, and those type of things. So I think getting there was an awesome experience, right? How it had never been. It had been 30 years since they had won outright conference title. So there was a lot of things that we had done that hadn't been done in a long time. But that ain't good enough. Yeah, it's to be commended. Yeah, great job. I don't ever want to have a goal and you reach a goal and don't know how to celebrate what that goal is, right? Yeah, damn right. You celebrate it and you do all those things, but then after you're done celebrating it, close the door and be ready to do it again. Now it's important.
That's important. Yeah.
How to do it again. How to do it again is more important than anything else. So I think, yeah, it was a great experience. I won't take that away. For those young men to have an opportunity to do that for our university, to have an opportunity to be there and have that stage and share who we are, not just everybody knows about Howard and this academic prowess, right? And this academic standing and all the greats that are, have walked these yards and walked these hills and those things. And they know about that. But Howard is great in a lot of things. And it's synonymous with excellence across the board. And so to have an opportunity to represent our brand and who our university is on the athletics side of things, in a championship game on national TV to start bowl season, just speaks to the depth of how great Howard really is. And that's something that we need to continue to build on, something we got to continue to hold and carry dear to us in our work and our process of what that means, and have a process-driven approach towards getting back there. So I think what we learn from it is that it's not good enough to just get there, right? You got to win it. And how do you do that? You got to get there first again.
Yeah.
So our process has to be right. Our approach has to be right. Our mindset has to be right. And that starts right away in January. And I believe we had the right mindset and approach towards what that needs to look like and be like this past January. And I like where we are right now. We start training camp here in 2 weeks from today.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 weeks from today. We'll be already in practice too. So we're excited about that. That's right around the corner. We still got 11, 12 days to prepare to get ready for that. So just stay focused on what we have to do to win this Thursday and win this moment. So that's where we are, but that's what we learned, and that's what I'm excited to see our response to.
Well, and good luck. Congratulations. I think you guys are going to lay out a pretty good plan. I think the MEAC is going to be very, very interesting to watch the entire season, especially when you guys get into conference play, battling one another, Coach, tell everybody how they can be able to find you out there on social media.
Yeah, Instagram is at Coach Scott Cooks. I kind of run my Instagram synonymously together with, who I am the person and also who I am the coach. Try to stay transparent that way and how I do that. And then on Twitter, it's at Coach L Scott 70 on X, should I say. And then we're all on HU Bison.
Yeah, I keep doing that same thing. X or Twitter. I don't know.
Yeah. And we're all on HU Bison Sports through the Howard website. So that's where you can find me and all of our coaches on socials and all those type of things. But you can also get onto HU Bison Sports and buy tickets for the Orange Blossom Classic. Howard alum and Howard family, we need you. We have an allotment to sell and get through and make sure that we have our representation in Miami on that Saturday afternoon. I know Florida A&M and being in their home state in Miami, they'll be there. So we need our people to buy tickets and show up and come support our brand in Miami on that stage at that time. So we need you, Howard alum. Come on, let's go, baby.
Yeah. Look, I heard from a couple of Bison alum, and they said the ticket sales have been doing a lot very well and a lot better than last year ticket sales. I understand for the Orange Blossom Classic. So you guys are doing your job already, man.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
We just got to keep it going. We got a few weeks and a month. Well, we got over a month to get to keep it going and rev it up a little bit more. So let's go, HU.
Yeah. And the battle for the real HU, that's always very important, and that's going to be on HBCU Go for you guys this year, correct?
Correct.
All right. I can't wait to see that one as well, because the Pirates last year, they did they shocked some people with what they were doing in the program. So we'll see how they trend again this year. Coach, congratulations. Good luck to you in 2025. Yeah. And as I tell everybody, we like Bernie Mac. You're now part of the HBCU Legends family. You can't get rid of us. And we're going to have you back in the future. Okay.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. And I look forward to it here in the future.
All right. Thank you. That's Coach Larry Scott of the Howard Bison. And you can see those guys opening the season at the Orange Blossom Classic against Florida A&M. All right. Thank you, Coach. Take care.
All right, thank you guys. Appreciate it. See you soon.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Ex-teammate, you know Deion very well. Are you surprised how fast he has climbed to the top of the HBCU coaching ranks at this time?
No, I'm not surprised. Deion has had an organization called The Truth ever since my son was like 6, 7 years old. Okay. My son played with The Truth in that organization. And it's what we call select football out here, where you have the creme de la creme of kids, tryouts and everything else. During that time, he has been grooming himself and raising young kids to play the sport at the highest level. So, and then taking it to high school.
Yeah.
Now the next step is just college, and then from that point forth, it's all about going to the highest level, which is professional football. So no, I'm not surprised. Deion brings something different to an organization like Jackson State and these young men that some coaches cannot even identify with, because Nick Saban never played professional football, not at this level. None of them have ever played baseball and been dual sports guy like Deion. None of them don't understand what the marketing aspect of it comes to the game, but they just know one thing: how to coach, how to motivate, et cetera, and get the best out of players. Deion know how to coach, how to lead, how to motivate, and how to get the best out of players, and how to instill certain values in young men. A lot of great coaches have great staffs that give them the support. Deion know how to recruit. And when he walks into a mother's house or a father's house, or a combination thereof, and he tells their kid, hey, this is beyond the game of football, son. This is about you not only getting a quality education at Jackson State, where HBCU schools produce quality individuals. It's just not marketed on the front like an Alabama or a Florida or some of these schools, because people don't value HBCU schools like we value them. I tell you what, when I look at an HBCU kid, and most of the ones I have met are very, very solid individuals. I appreciate not only the educational background, I appreciate what the HBCU school gave them. They gave them something that you don't normally see at some of these other schools. And that part I appreciate. And that's what Deion has to offer. He understands the platform. Now he's getting the understanding of really, truly what he may have lost out on.
That's a good point.
Mosley here with HBCU Legends fans. We have a special guest. We have the creator and sponsor of Invesco's QQQ Legacy Classic. He's going to be there featuring 4 of the top HBCU men's basketball programs. We have Delaware State, we have Hampton, Norfolk State, as well as we have Morgan State, the Bears. You know him so well for being on some of the groundbreaking casts on film and TV, like The Wire, as well as Black Panther. But now he's going to debut as a producer and director for Creed 3. It's none other than Mr. Michael B. Jordan. What's going on, Michael? How are you?
How you doing, brother? I'm doing great, man. How you doing, man? Good?
Oh man, doing good, doing good.
You know, all the obstacles and challenges that it is to kind of get into, you know, an invitational like that. I wanted to kind of create our own, you know, our own kind of like, you know, classic. So we started out last year in the middle of a pandemic, nonetheless, and still found a way to get it done. And that just kind of gave me more, you know, more gas, more fuel to kind of to get it done again this year, and also just giving HBCUs the, you know, the light that they deserve, you know, and also you know, trying to bring awareness and sponsorship and money and funds, you know what I'm saying, to the university to be able to, you know, have all the things to give the student athletes the best opportunity to either, you know, go pro, you know what I'm saying, play at the next level. And obviously it's bigger than basketball, but and how to take care of their money, you know, especially with the name and likeness that's you know, that's allowing these student athletes to go out there and make money off of their own personal brand. What are you going to do with that money? You know, how are you going to spend it? How are you protecting yourselves and your family's future here and now? And that's something that I wish I had growing up, you know, at an earlier age. But, you know, so I can only imagine, you know, what these kids are going through. So just trying to provide those things to kind of keep their futures intact.